Yep. Going live. Checking audio. Let's go to let's go to guest. Invite guest. Copy. Yep. Copy. And paste. And I hope you guys can hear me. Welcome to Lackluster Fridays 2. That's right. Lackluster Fridays 2. Daniel Berries. There you go. Sports and highlights. Setting all this up. Boom, boom. Yeah. Starting this stuff. What's up? What's up, chat? What's up, KP? Oh, yeah. Look at that. I can see all of chat. Boom. But I can't hear shit. Of course. What's up, Blue Butterfly? What's up, KB6? That was odd. I know it's because I tried to open two live streams at the same time. So on the same what do you call it? The same shit. How about I do this and I use this to monitor chat. Boom. Okay. All right. That's down. Yep. Your mic sounds better. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I'm on my tablet. Rayanne. What's up, Rayanne? Boom. Let's go here. Lackluster Fridays 2. Yep. Okay. Chat filter all. Boom. There we go. What's up, Kay? Who is Kay? I know who you are. I've seen you around, Kay. Do I make Kay blue? Is that what I do? Do I make Kay blue? Is that what I do? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Tell me in the comments. Is Kay worthy of being blue? What do you think? What? Oh shit. Look at this. Look at this, folks. I'm literally using my magazines to prop this thing up. What? Works perfect. Yeah. Looks kind of horrible with the background though. What's up, Dee Dee? Yeah. Having a hard time. Oh yeah. Welcome to Lackluster Fridays. Make K blue. Woot woot. Billy says make you blue, so I'll make you blue. I don't know. I guess it's your first time being here, Kay. I don't know, is it? KB6V. Oh, wait, I gotta go this way. X NYC OG Prepper. Metal. Okay. All right. K, you are now blue. I think. Yes. K is now blue. There you go. K is now blue. You've been here before? Okay. All right. Well, guess what? Congratulations, you're now blue. I'm pushing buttons, so if it dies, I don't know. You tell me. Okay, there we go. There's that. Tell me if that works. Boom. Make K blue. Woot woot. Mag prop. That's right. No, she's around. No, I've been here before. Okay, catching up. Boom. Maccabeus is in the chat. Okay, is in the panel. Maccabeus, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
I cannot hear Maccabeus.
Can you hear me?
Damn. Why can't I hear Maccabeus? That's horrible. On speakerphone.
That crackle's gone.
I can hear you. That's all I know. Welcome
It's
to
not
Lackluster
showing me
Fridays,
muted.
folks. Can y'all hear Maccabeus? I can't hear Maccabeus. Please tell me if y'all
It's
can hear
not showing me
Maccabeus.
muted on mine yet. Nothing. I hear you.
5x5. Okay. Made a fruit punch for my MRA. It took 2 packs. Yep, y'all can hear Maccabeus? Okay. I can't. Why? Why can't? What's up, Bullfrog? Oh, Bullfrog. I found me a Diablo, a punch Diablo. I gotta go get it. All right, thank you, Miko. Why can't I hear?
Tell Mad Chat I can hear him.
What is my problem? Is my major malfunction? What is your major malfunction? No, I'm nuts. Let's go to edit mic settings. Automatically adjust volume. Okay, that's good. All right. What the fuck? See what happens when you try new things. Oh, shit.
I'm gonna smoke me a faggot while you get it figured out.
Let's go to settings. Audio. Raw. Oh, what?
Can you hear me now?
Charging. Why I no charge? I should be charging. There should be charging going on. Just don't smoke it on an empty stomach, really. Oh shit. How about I try this? Ooh. Yeah, let's go Bluetooth on this shit. Let's get Bluetoothy. Let's go Bluetoothy. Okay.
Testing.
Oh shit.
Mad one, do you copy? Over.
What? I guess it's your show there, Mac. I can't. I'm trying to hook something up and it ain't working.
Me and Canadian hung out over there on the backstage and talked for a little bit about some old knives he inherited.
Yeah, it sucks. Stop that shit. Yeah.
Let me leave and come back in.
Why won't it fucking do that? All right, let's go the other way then. That was the idea. Okay. Yeah. Boom. I'm losing power. That's great. That's great. How about I do this? We need more power. I got power. Oh yeah, now we got power. All right, cool. I just need a. Oh, Maccabeus, add the stage. There you go, Mac.
Can you hear me now?
I don't know, why can't I hear anybody? That's. No. Oh, I hear something.
This is one of my latest additions to my knife collection.
I can hear you.
Can you see that?
Yeah, look at that thing.
That is the Marine Corps jungle buoy.
Boom. Oh, look at that. I can make full screen on this. This is great. Southern Prepper. That's right. Skull. Yeah, that's a beautiful knife, man.
Yeah. Yeah, a YouTuber sent it to me.
Yes, sir. That's a beautiful knife. Wow. How did I fix this? I fixed it.
Yeah, we hung out over there for a few minutes, and he inherited some knives from a deceased relative, and we talked about that for a little bit.
Yeah. Uh, excuse me. Why? Yeah, yeah. Y'all don't mind if I smoke a fag, do you?
That's what I said when I came on. I was smoking a faggot.
Yep. I'm gonna smoke a fag right now. Yep. A famaggot. If y'all don't know what a famaggot is, a famaggot is this like squirmy little thing that likes to squirm around and shit. It likes to pack shit. It likes to move shit. It lives in shit. Uh, you know, it's usually associated with it. It's like it makes a lispy sound when it tries to talk or communicate. It's very effeminate. Maybe it has makeup on. Maybe it has uh, you know what do you call that shit that's nail polish on, maybe it's wearing jewelry, things of that nature. A famaggot. And
Limp, limp wrist
it
and skinny jeans.
Yeah, yeah, everything is famaggot famaggots. And so they do that, and they grow up, squirming around in filth and shit, thinking that they're going to grow up to be a butterfly one day, when all they do is just grow up to be another fly, because that's what mommy and daddy were flies. So
Mainstream
Beelzebub.
mainstream Christianities went to that too, with these prissy ass little bitches. That's one reason I'm an independent fundamental Baptist. Well, it's doctrinal and stuff, but they make fun of them hardcore. The guys I listen to on YouTube, I mean, they're hellfire and brimstone preachers, and they just trash them guys up one side and down the other.
Wow. I mean, I don't I get it. Everybody's talking about, oh God, oh, it's hate speech, hate speech, hate speech. What? I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like inspired. I want to make a hate speech video about traffic or pencils or uh, the only place my jeans are skinny is in the waistband, right? Iron sharpens iron. That's right. Uh,
It's all part of feminizing the male population of our Western society. You know,
yep.
just like in Rome, like Rome and Britain
Yeah.
and every other empire, they done the same
Yep.
thing.
Yep. What's up, Rule? Rule Prepper. Boom. Welcome. Let me see if I can
How
drop
you
that
doing,
link. Yeah.
Roll?
Yeah, there was I want to say it's the Perusian. There was back in the early 1600s, the Perusian Empire, uh, which of course is something else totally. But they had a lot of dissension in because they just got off of like all kinds of wars, uh, and the people were pissed off, and they were a totalitarian feudal type society, right? And so they had a lot of men, a lot of veterans, a lot of men that just got back from war, and they were rebel rousing. They were like, yeah, rebel, rebel, rebel. We're gonna kick your ass. We're gonna destroy the czar and all this, and take back our country. And it was funny how they fought back against this rebellion. Is they literally put out cosmetics for men. They put out frilly little shirts that men could wear. They had hairstylists making hair for men that looked very effeminate,
Yeah,
and they actually hired actors to go throughout their society and be these effeminate type of men, and it took off, and that's why you get all these men, back in that the men in tights kind of shit with the
yeah.
curly hair, and The French took to it big time, and of course, made it their whole identity. Uh, Man buns make me bun. I mean, it used to be called like a forelock, or it had a purpose. The man bun actually had a purpose. It's where your helmet set on your head, right? That was the whole idea of the Japanese forelock, in the Chinese kui, is they would take their hair. The Japanese would take their hair. They would shave all this, and they would put their ponytail, I guess, forward, and that's how the helmet set on their head. And it kind of gave them a little bit extra padding, you know. And it took off and turned into everybody started doing it. That's why it's funny how things happened. Yeah, but the man bun thing, no, yeah, I mean, that old lady used to try and make me use moisturizer. Hell no. I do actually use a moisturizer. I use O'Keefe on my hands. There's also something called Bloody Knuckles I use, but it's just like it's like real thick fucking moisturizer that I put on my hands. It stops all the cracking and shit. So and cocoa butter. I mean, for those ashy elbows, good stuff. You know, Baby oil. That's I used to do that too. Cover my fucking body in baby oil after a shower and let it soak in. Because I was disgusting. I had some disgusting jobs, and I destroyed my fucking body and my hair and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to use stuff like on jobs I've had. That last job I had as a vacuum excavator, I was in mud all the time. And that mud, when it dries out, it's mud water. And when it dries out, it'll literally eat your hands. I mean, they just dry out, huge cracks. And in just like a couple of weeks, my hands were splitting apart and stuff. And I had to start using palmers. And that was
Yeah.
just so that my hands would, because when they get like that, they get sore too.
Yeah, they get sore. They start they start peeling and cracking and bleeding, all kinds of shit. No, bullfrog dreadlocks did not start with the Vikings. They were the dreadlock thing. You would see it in the Woad warriors and the Celtics. Of course, you've seen it in Africa. And that of course went into Jamaica. The Vikings actually, you talk about Vikings, or it was they combed their hair meticulously. It was they were kind of made fun of because of their grooming practices, because they had combs, they had tweezers, they wanted to look their funeral best when they went to war. So they would comb their hair, they would comb their beard, they would braid it, it would be fine, it would be just perfect, you know, beautiful. Some of the accounts from the enemy would say these rather large, effeminate men, you know, because they would groom themselves constantly, and while they did not, right? Nobody, they was like, oh no, we don't want to do that. Interesting story. The Japanese, right? The samurai. There was a time in the samurais where they gold bond. I've never used that actually, but the samurai would dress up in their funeral clothes to go to war or to go to a duel. And their funeral clothes were very it was flowing silk. It was kind of effeminate, and they also wore funeral makeup, kind of like a geisha. So there are stories, since we're talking about smoking fags, there are stories of some samurais would go to a duel and stop and fall in love with each other because they were so beautiful. I know.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucked up. But there's also an interesting, it reminds me of another interesting Viking story where these Vikings were captured and you've probably heard this too, and they were captured and they were going to be beheaded, and it's actually been in a movie too. But he said, "Hey, before you behead me, could you take my hair and hold my hair forward so you don't cut my hair because I love my beautiful hair, and I want you to cut my neck perfectly." And they're like, "Okay, all right, yeah, you guys are that vain, sure." And as soon as they grabbed their hair and the axe went to fall, he pulled back and the axe fell on the dude's hand that was holding the hair, and they'd all make a big old laugh and joke about it. you know, uh, right? The Geishi. But I mean, that's stories are neither here nor there, nor are they unfounded. But they are interesting. They stand the test of time. Uh, Same thing with the Spartans. They had a unusual morning ritual. They would wake up and they would work out in the nude, and then they would oil their bodies with this like whatever oil they used in front of the enemy. Like they would just go about their morning ritual of bathing and grooming themselves, butt ass naked, working out, doing push ups, whatever side straddle hops, right? Helicopter, helicopter, uh, and right, Southern Fried, uh, and then of course the enemy is like these guys are gay. Oh my god, they're GHEY, which is not unfounded, by the way. The Greeks were well known for they called it mentoring, right? And so yeah, they would a uncle or a older man would take on, and it was kind of encouraged not only on the Spartans but the Athenians. I don't think the Spartans really they did do it. They engaged in this. They were encouraged to have husbands because they were thought that they would fight more ferociously in battle if their husband was in battle with them.
Huh.
Yeah, that was a practice. It was practiced, but I think it was kind of frowned upon, and like all fads, right?
Yeah.
Since we're talking about smoking fags, um, you know, it, eventually, right? People were like, "That's just very uncouth." Come on. You know,
Well, yeah, when I was in
yeah,
the Carpenters Union, a guy in there said that the Spartans had a ritual, and when they would kill somebody, they would go before they died. They would go and get them erect and suck them off, and there was some kind of transfer of the spirit and their fighting powers. I don't know if
what?
that was true. I thought the guy was kind of gay myself that was telling me that, but
Yeah, that's definitely GHEY. Definitely. Gah. I've never heard that. I've never heard that.
that's the only place I ever heard it, and I was like, well, I'm glad I wasn't one of them.
Yeah, I've never heard of that myself, and I know a lot. It's possible. It is possible.
But
It was slightly tolerated, but it was still considered unmanly. Throughout history, there has never been a absolute like just homosexual society.
yeah,
If it was allowed to persist, it would destroy society. Every society knew this. Everyone knew this. It was
yeah,
tolerated. It was tolerated. It was also part of a ritualistic thing. It was also very occultish, right?
yeah,
So that's where the whole we talk about the Illuminati, the Anunnaki, and of course the uh, you know Beelzebub, and what the Christians face with Jezebel and Babylon. That's what they were all about, and promoting that to help destroy the enemy in their ancient insurrection is by literally destroying the society with that Gehennas. right?
Yeah.
You know, the perversion, the parade of debauchery, and that's what they did. It was said Spartan wives used to shave their heads as the warriors returned from battle. Wow, no shit. Yeah, and so the Spartan wives were badass too. So I mean, uh, and it's something has to be said. Yeah, it's kind of unfounded. They say that they took babies and held them over a cliff, and if they were deformed or whatever, they threw them off the cliff.
Yeah.
We've never found a cliff, a bottom of a
Well,
cliff with baby bones.
yeah.
That's never been found. But there have been the practice of exposing. It was called exposing babies. Was practice in many cultures, especially Old Norse and Viking. If there was a baby that was deformed or something like that, they would just let it set outside. They would take it out into the woods and put it outside and let nature take its course. But what would also happen, of course, we know what would happen, that the animals would take the baby. Uh, but what also would happen is that a woman that couldn't have babies or children would go out there and take the baby and raise it as their own. So, uh, but they were never their social status would never be that of a. There were three things: a thrall, a crawl, a thrall, a yarl, thrall, and yeah, whatever. They could never be part of that society. They were always looked down upon. Uh, Ghee, right? Gay, like ghee. Sounds really delicious, healthy food, and not butt butter. Well, that's right, right, Jack. No, I'm saying ghee, like Ghey, ghee. Let me put that. Uh,
Is that where the legend of the I think it was the Viking culture where the little I think there's two boys raised by wolves or something?
that's also in the Roman, Romulus. Romulus
That,
was the Yeah, the two gods, I forget the two gods, but the wolf's name was Romulus, and they were in the wilderness. The two gods were in the wilderness, and they suckled the teat of the mother wolf, and that's how Rome was born from their accounts. Like that's like
Romulus and Remus.
I think so. I'm not familiar that much, but I remember the Romulus thing, and it was everywhere. When I went to Rome, it was everywhere in all the carvings and on the walls. And what's up, 101? Thank you. Southern Fight, Remus and Romulus. Okay, yeah, yeah. And then the wolf mother, you know, suckled suckled them to health and helped them survive. There is in the or Old Norse. There's two types of elite warriors. I mean, we've heard of them. The berserker, right? Berserker, bear shirt, right? Bear clan or Odin's men, and then and then there was the Ulfhefnar, the wolf clan. So you had your bear clan and your wolf clan. Your bear clan is usually one guy. He's a monster. He's a bear. He kills everything in his path, right? He's just one guy. And if there's a clan of berserkers, they might just kill each other just just because they're in a frenzy. But the Ulfhefnar, the wolf pack, the wolf berserkers would work in a pack together and roam through the war, the battlefield. Harold Finehair, you've heard of him,
Yeah.
with Bjorn side and all that. He had his Ulfhefnar, and they would when he would go to war, he would go to battle. He would send his wolf pack, and they would literally get while everybody's fighting. They would get on all fours and run through the battlefield, stabbing people, getting stabbed, getting cut. Right? And they would wear wolf skins and attack the leader. They would go right for the clan leader, the jarl. whatever. And so that's the story of the Uf Hefnar, um, which I kind of like that idea, of course, but the we only know the berserker, right? Because that's like berserker, But there was another aspect of that as well, you know.
So what was the big turnaround with the Vikings whenever they started? I think it was during the Crusades when they became Christian or something to go fight in the Crusades. Was that an actual conversion, or was they just playing the role to be a part of the war?
Well, the Viking Age ended at Stanford Bridge 1055. After Stanford Bridge in Britain, and then the conversion started after that. And it was a brutal conversion. The Codex Redis Codex, I think it was. They started to really violently convert, and there was a lot of kings that would fake being Christian just to have like some kind of power influence. But they all started to assimilate. I don't know about how they went with the Crusades because the Crusades were after the Viking Age. What's up, Summer Rain?
I was thinking I read somewhere that they got involved in one of the Crusades, maybe the first one or something.
Well, it was after they'd stopped being Vikings. I mean, the whole idea of the Vikings is what they got called. They
Uh-huh.
didn't call themselves Viking. They would go forth in Viking, or that was like a thing. Like, hey, let's go to war. Let's go raid, right? And let's go. Damn, man, cat. So it was different kinds of things. Like the Viking Age, you could call that a crusade. It that
Yeah.
changed the world, especially Europe and the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
And one could say America as well. Greenland, Iceland, all that, came from that area. Uh, Jutland, and Scandinavia, all that. It was just that part of a unification kind of thing. That's where you get Normandy. That's where you get William the Conqueror, Charlemagne. From the ancestors of the Vikings. Uh, Ivar the Boneless, Bjorn Ironside, Harold Finehair, and their exploits in the Mediterranean against the Caliphate. Uh, but I don't know about as far as like the Crusades. I think the Crusades was after the Vikings had already been like converted and Christian, and now they're a Christian, unified Christian nation with Christian kings, and like their old ways were like outlawed. You could no they Christianity had conquered the Norse, but they still held on to their traditions. So yeah, it's possible they went on crusades and stuff still.
Yeah.
We even know that before the Viking Age, that you had the Vingarian guards, right? You had Vikings, or you had Scandinavians of all, Denmark, Norway, and all of them in Sweden that would go to war as mercenaries in different countries, and then come back to their own country and be just live out their lives, on their farm and their families, you know. So they were mercenaries, elite mercenaries, even back in the day. What's up, Rip? G'day, Diggs. G'day. G'day. No worries, mate. Welcome to Lackluster Fridays. Hope you're doing
What was
well.
the sorry?
Go ahead.
What was the relationship between them and like the Cossacks back then?
Cossacks. The Cossacks didn't exist in the Viking Age, did they?
I don't know. I just always
No.
figured the Cossacks were Russians.
Oh, okay. So Kiev, uh, or Kiev, the Kiev River. That was one of the first Viking settlements. Was in the north of Russia. So you could say, and I've talked to a lot of historians, that you could say that the Russians are like they're Vikings. They're straight descendants of Vikings. You look at their moon runes, their moon writing, right? The moon runs. Their whole language. They're still, strong ties in genetics to Vikings, but they mixed with a lot of Slavics and Mongolians and became, they changed, of course, throughout the centuries and whatever. Sweden and Finland were two of the best European countries and carried guns. Yeah, that's true, right, Jack?
So
Yep.
what was them people before they became a Viking culture?
They were like the Slavs. They were a very wild type of people that they believed in animalism. Uh, they were kind of like your druid. They were much like the ancient Celts in
Yeah.
Russia, throughout Russia, throughout the Slavic areas, throughout Mongolia, even Mongolia, right? They were still believing in animalism, where they prayed to a mountain, or they prayed to the animals, or that kind of thing. It was they had concepts that they were building about gods, and you'll see a lot of mixtures of Viking and Slavic, these, they Wutan, right? Wutan is the German god. Wutan. That's where we get Wednesday. That came from the word Odin. Yeah, so it mixed, and they have the similar gods, and it's funny because the Hindu is called Proto-Indo-European, and it was like everything came from the Mongolian area, from the steppes into Europe, and you can still see the ties, the string, if you will. I mean, we're talking old history, um, and of course, some of those people crossed that great bridge, that great divide, into America. In how we have our Native Americans, and so comments are being struck. Are they really? Uh, well, thumbs down, fuck you there, YouTube, uh, and your Google mods. We're we're
Okay,
we're having a
YouTube.
history lesson. Yeah, we're having a history lesson here, and you're fucking it
No
all up.
shit.
Yeah,
They don't like
comments are being
history.
yeah, fuck them. They're stupid.
So the
Makes me want to.
Vikings were after the Mongolians when the Mong.
Yeah, yeah, and the Old Norse, they actually came from Europe. The Celts, the ancient Celts, the ancient Druids, before they were Celts and Druids, they came from Europe, went north, following the ice age, the retreating ice wall. So, because there was most of the Earth was covered in ice, and there was a great divide, an ice wall, right? Big ass glaciers, and they started to rescend, and either they got pushed out, or they said, fuck you guys, we're going north, get away from y'all, because this, the conquest. I mean, we always wanted to explore. We've always been an exploratory type of society, species, and we kind of just migrated up. So that's where they come from. The Vikings are actually Europeans, essentially,
Yeah.
ancient Celts and ancient tribes and clans, and before they were that, before they were anything, and all that came from, the West or the East. So it's kind of weird how that it's called the denizens. The denizen, you had your Cro-Mag, you had your Neanderthal, and you had your denizens, going ancient. So in the denizen, that's where you get that whole Mongolian Asian lineage. But there's a lot of similarities in the language and the cultures that blend together. Kind of, I mean, very very eerily similar. You know, very similar, and there's all variations. It's such a rich, uh, you know, it, there, it's interesting how getting back to the roots of things,
Yeah.
like badass Viking tune, Vikinger, right? Vikinger, to go forth with Vikings, to go be a Viking, to go Viking, was to be like, I'm going to get on a ship and go raid with my boys. Me and the boys are going to go to this other country and just
Burn it
do what
down.
we want. Yeah, rape, pillage, and plunder. uh, and of course, not only did they do that, like let's go Viking. We're gonna lay siege to your land. They would take your basically take everything, steal everything by force, and then sell it. So the Viking Age created a massive world network marketing.
Yeah.
There were marketplaces that just popped up all over the place. People just selling wares. There's old in Scandinavia, in Sweden, in Norway, and in Denmark. There are people that were buried during the Viking Age that had little Buddhist charms and little just anywhere they went or wherever they would buy things or trade for things and go, wow, that's cool. Uh, you know, you're like, wait a minute, how's a Viking know about Buddhism? Well, he went to Saudi Arabia or he went to Spain or he traded. Yeah, maybe they went there. But I mean, there were huge like the Slavs and the Kevs, the Vagarians. They had that whole river. They would just run up and down that river, just selling everything that the other guys were stealing.
Yeah.
So
That sounds
they also
fun.
made shit too. I mean, they made a lot of things too. They made great cheese, great mead, great heavy, durable sails and ropes and textiles. Just a lot of things. They also made. They were well known, of course, if you've seen any kind of Viking knotwork or intricate
Yeah.
knotwork and carvings
Yeah.
uh, in everything. Like they would do it to not only to wood, to ivory, to bone, to metal. It was just amazing. Uh, yeah, they did at Jack. Absolutely. Well, they weren't the only ones. I mean, they were just the best at it. Excuse me while I smoke a fag. Mm.
I'm just finishing my faggot off.
Well, it's not a famaggot. It's a fag. From the British. Uh, I think I don't know what would you call a plethora, a plural of fags,
A
in a pack.
faggle. A
A
faggle.
fag, a faggle.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know, and I'm just doing this inspired by Hutch and getting
Yeah.
his strike. Uh, they also sold Minnesota Viking game worn jerseys. Right, Eric? Yeah. Uh,
I've seen a big increase here in the last probably 20 years of what I would label a Viking culture coming back into Western society.
oh yeah, 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 absolutely. It's always been there. It's
Yeah.
always just kind of been there.
It's
I
getting more
mean,
popular now, though.
yeah, it is. Even over there, that's the thing too. There's Viking biker gangs in
Yeah.
Sweden. They straight up fucking go full Viking and get on
Yeah.
their motorcycles. The Hell's Angels are there, and they're
Yeah.
all
Outlaws.
yep. Yeah, it's quite the thing. Now, some of these things, like there's a for first and foremost, we don't know how or what they practiced, what their religion was, or how they practiced their religion. We just know sagas and stories and things like that. Uh, And so, with that being said, there's these religions, these Old Norse or Viking religions that are coming out as Astara or Astara, Astagaria, that practice. They make a religion that they follow, and they have rules and all this stuff. Um, yeah, there's no historical founding on that, especially with we talked about Volva, right? Volva, the original witch, if you will. That was, we really don't know how they practiced. We have some some guesses and some things here and there that they've done, you know, that they were practiced, but they were also well revered, and they were also hated. It was looked upon as uh, you know uh, in Old Norse it was called Dragar. You wanted to be manly. You wanted to be like Thor.
Yeah.
Every man wanted to be like Thor, and every man held every man to that standard. Women did too, right? Women were supposed to be feminine, and men were supposed to be Dragar. I am man, and I will fight, and I will drink, and you will not disrespect me. Matter of fact, if you smoke a fag, and that was the thing too. If you called another Old Norse Ghey, he could
Yeah.
rightly kill you in front of everybody. Like, hey, you just disrespected me. Them fighting's words. We're gonna do
Yeah.
this. We're gonna do the home gang, which we're
Yeah.
gonna fight to the death, and it's justified.
That's the way it was
We're
when
gonna,
I was a kid.
right? Yeah.
If you called somebody a faggot, it meant you wanted to fight with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays it's like a, I don't know, badge of honor or something. But hey, it's yeah, so many jokes now. And like I said, I grew up in where we were just insult each other just hard, deep, hurt, cut to the bone.
Yeah.
Try to make you pissed off, fighting mad.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's when you win. You got like, I got you fighting mad, I win. And the whole crowd was like, oh, uh,
Well,
but it
I
did
read somewhere.
exist
I'm
as
sorry.
well. I wanted to reiterate that vulva culture. Men also participated in that vulva effeminate witchcraft, and so it happened. It happened. Now they were thought of as right, not manly, not honorable, uh, but it still was kind of tolerated. So just saying. Go ahead.
I forgot. But one other question I had, if it's not a change of subject too much, um, the ice giants. What's the whole story on the ice giants?
All right, so the ice giants, they were damn it, you got me. They were from help me out here, chat. They were throughout. They were kind of like the Asgardians. They had the same attributes. They were not really ice giants. Kind of like they were, because Odin come from an ice giant. They mixed breed. They would breed, intermingle, uh, in the realm, the ice giant realm. They were expelled to that realm. They were not really considered ice giants or whatever. Right, Southern Fried Pepper. My memory is faulty, but they're they're kind of the same, but they're not. It's kind of weird. But there was a war, right? The Vanir, the Iceir, and the damn it, I can't think of their name. The ice giants, right? And the elves. They're also elves, but they were not thought of as elves or trolls. These names came later on after Christianity had taken over. Uh, Vanilla Ice concert is not an ice storm. But there were so many like wars. Of Loki is part Jotunheim, right? Jotun. They were Jotun, so they were from Jotunheim. That's a part of the enclosure. You had Asgard, you had Midgard, you had Jotunheim, you had Muspel, and that's where Hell is, by the way, or Elfenheim. And so the Jotun, they could shapeshift. They had the same kind of properties as the Asgardians. They were extremely strong. They were powerful in magic. They were extremely smart, and they would intermingle and you know have kids and
Yeah.
other beings. So, but they hated each other. And Thor, that was his thing. Was like, I'm going to kill every Jotun, right? And a Jotun could be anything. It was kind of like, wow, Bam Spike chainmail, badass. Like the Midgardian serpent was a Jotun. The Fenrir, the large wolf. He was considered a Jotun. There's also like they would have their kingdoms of Jotuns, and they kept themselves in the very very cold areas because nobody else they want to just be left alone, and everybody just kept fucking with them. So especially the Asgardians. Uh, there's many stories. That's how the wall was created. That's how Sleipnir's Odin's horse came about. That's an interesting story. Is that they wanted to trick a Jotun and his horse to make the Great Wall of Asgard, and they said, "Here's your deadline to make this massive Great Wall with you and your massive horse. Your he had a massive horse, and they worked diligently, and they said, if you make the deadline, we'll give you whatever the whatever you ask for, but if you don't, you get nothing." And so what they did is they tried and tried and tried to keep sabotaging him. Yeah, the gods, Asgardian gods, kept trying to sabotage him. And Loki, they asked Loki. Loki was a shapeshifter to change himself into a mare and to entice and seduce the horse, the massive horse, the workhorse, the Jotun workhorse. You can imagine this thing is pulling like mountains.
Yeah.
In his cart, right? And well, what had happened was, is that the massive horse caught up to Loki as a mare and mated with her, her, right? Yeah, that's the thing too. Like Loki and Odin were also shapeshifters, and they were considered Arger Rager uh, fag smokers, and because they would engage in that, and so Loki got caught by as a mare, as a female horse, and got laid, and had a horse, an eight-legged horse, which he gave to had a baby, a horse baby. It gave to Odin as the eight-legged horse Sleipnir. Uh, but but they did actually win the contract. The Jotun lost the contract because his horse ran off. Yeah, because he's seen this beautiful mare, and got right. So I mean that the stories are fucked up. You would think that gods would not be doing stupid shit like this, but they do. It's that like what kind of god is what I mean, you think about it, if you could just do whatever you want. And Odin was actually kicked off, since we're on the smoking fag here thing. Odin was actually kicked out of the Asgard for being too effeminate and going down the route of Vova Vanir, learning the effeminate witchcraft arts, if you will. It's possible, Eric. He's probably Epstein. Yeah, there's so many stories that you're just like, what? Wait a minute. So the Norse did not have the same like reverie as we do for like Jesus or God or the angels or the saints. They would curse them. They would go, screw you. Actually, Odin, nobody wanted to be, if you were in Odin's favor, that meant that you were really good in battle and you were going to die soon because he was a selfish god and wanted you on his team, but he had to kill you in battle to get you. So he would trick you or make you fight to die by, by the hand of by sword or whatever. So he would get you into Valhalla on his team for Ragnarok. Hell, she did the same thing. Hell and Loki, they were doing the same thing, is creating this evil undead monstrous Jotun army to fight against Asgard in Ragnarok. So it is weird. It just extremely extremely colorful, to say the least. You know, um, so many instances, so many weird, just unexplainable. Like, what did you just say? Uh, One of the stories, you might have heard about the story of the runes. How the runes came about is that Odin himself went to Yggdrasil, the tree, the great tree, and hung himself for 9 days or 9 nights. And then at the end of that, with no food, no water, which I don't understand because he's a god, he doesn't really have to eat, right? But for no food, no water, he hung himself on this tree, and he boom, the runes fell. But he what he did is he did a lot of rituals before that, and one of them was, he said, after being thoroughly fertilized, yeah, thoroughly fertilized in ritualistic sex with men, he hung himself uh, for 9 days and 9 nights. So yeah, I mean, these gods were not saints,
Yeah.
not saints at all. You know, so many stories. I mean, there's a story of Thor in drag. That's a very interesting one. And it was against his will. Uh, his hammer, uh, his hammer got stolen by one of the Jotun kings, and the king said that the Jotun king said that he will give it up for Freya. Freya was the most beautiful woman in the nine realms, right? She's Freya. The She was the Vanir uh, capture, actually, of the war with Vanir and Asir, and Odin took her as a wife. Uh, Most beautiful. She's also the queen of all the Volvas, the queen of all the witches and all that stuff. And so Thor wears hammer parachute pants. So they devised this plan to say, okay, we'll give you Freya for your wedding, and then you return Mjolnir back to Thor. So Loki, being the fuckhead that he is, said, I got a great idea. Let's dress up Thor as Freya, as a bride, and he can just go get the hammer. Like, huh? What? And Thor is like, no, that'll never work. And Loki's like, it's okay. I'll help you. And Loki could actually transform. And once again, he transforms himself into a woman, a handmaiden. And they dress Thor up in this bride's gown with a thick veil. Now, you have to understand the who Thor was. It's talked about in the sagas. This guy was a monster, right? This guy was built. He had a fiery red beard. He had fiery glowing red eyes. Like, he had monstrous arms and monstrous chest. He was a man. He was a monstrous man, and he was super strong, right? So they covered him all up and put all perfumey on him and shit, and carried him to this to the bride. And you could kind of it's kind of a similar story to like, my what hairy chin you have, my that kind of story, right? And so it goes on and on and on. Thor shows up in drag with Loki transformed to a woman, right, as an actual like a handmaiden, and Thor drinks all the wine at the party. He just drinks it all. He's known to drink. He can drink. He can outdrink anybody. He just drinks it all. Like there's no more wine at the party, at the wedding party. And the king is like, "Wow, she really drank all that wine." And Loki's like, "She's really thirsty, and it was a long journey, right?" You know, it keeps explaining it off. And then what Thor does is he eats all the damn food. Eats all the food. They're like, "Wow, she really has a healthy appetite." And he's like, "Well, we traveled a long way, you know, without stopping, no food, no water, just to get here because she was very excited to see you, you know, and be married with you." And you know, it keeps going on and on and on and on. And finally, the king, like, I don't know, he gropes Thor or something. He touches Thor, and Thor said, "That's it," rips off his fucking belt, grabs the hammer, and kills everybody, everybody in the fucking wedding. You know, and the story is, you know, that him and Loki were running off, you know, covered in blood, in wedding dresses. He's ripping this shit off. Fuck this shit. It was a fucking stupid idea, you know. But that was the whole thing with like Thor and Loki were always getting each other in trouble and always coming up with these like, you know, hey, there's a good idea for you, right? You know?
Mischievous.
Yeah, very mischievous. I mean, and Thor wasn't the only one either. I mean, he wasn't immune to it either. He's the one that I think suggested that Loki turned into a horse, right, and a female horse. And there were some other instances where you know they would get in trouble. They would go off on their own, right, and get in trouble. Just what? The story of Stuttgart Loki, where they fall into a Jotun thing, and their place. They have these challenges that they need to do, and they fail them miserably. And you know, Thor was like, "So yeah, I got you, Loki, I got you, ha, you know, you suck, you know." I mean, because they were like stepbrothers, really, uh, you know, stepbrothers, kind of ish. I don't know. Interesting shit. I mean, interesting shit. It's called
So, what was their culture doing during the Dark Ages?
during the Dark Ages. When were the Dark Ages?
I think they was like 400 AD. I don't remember. It was lasted a couple hundred years.
So let's see. The we know that during the Ice Age and the end of the Ice Age is basically when Scandinavia was resettled or settled. We don't know about if there was people there before. Chances are there were. Uh, they rabid, yeah, they were farming. There's ancestral farms. They also did their whole like 476 AD to approximately 1000 AD. Okay, and then the Viking Age is like from 7 to 1055 or 1066, I think. 700 to 1066. So the Dark Ages, I mean, I don't. So 476 to 1000 AD. I guess they just raided, because that kind of coincides with the Viking Age and the Dark Ages. You know, raise the course with maggots feeding on the left foot, pulling for the maggots, pulling for the course region. But I mean, I guess times were all hard for each other and for everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Southern Fried. We're in the Dark Ages, the Biden Harris years. All right, you have the helm, Mac Actual. I have to go make a head call.
All right, I can't read the chat. So
Oh, okay. I'll be back.
I'm just sitting here smoking a faggot. It's really nice out tonight. It's like between 55 and 60 probably. Catching all the weird sounds of the little town here. A lot of movement out there for not very many people around here. Yeah, I've always been intrigued by that whole section of time, like Dark Ages up to the medieval times, the Vikings.
All right. Boy. All right, I'm back. Yeah.
What do you know about the medieval age?
A little bit here and there. I mean, a little bit.
Always thought that
What I
was. Go ahead.
like armor, like the armor and the fighting, the HEMA, and kind of stuff. I know a little bit. I don't know. What you want to know? What you want to talk about?
Society, structures of society, and just information dump shit.
Okay. There was a lot of feudalism. There was a lot of basically it was like poor man, rich man, basically, but it was there is some myths that need to be dispelled. Not everybody was dirty. Not everybody was, covered in filth and no, I mean, people like to be clean and clean shaven and they made their own clothes. It was you think about like medieval times, if you didn't have it, you made it or you traded for it,
Yeah.
you know. Uh if you were part of a village, if you gathered around your king, your castle for protection and for work and for food and things like that, uh, and you could have been like taxed, like hey, you've got like you owe me like 30 bushels. So yeah, I mean the stories you hear, like of medieval time, serfdom. The king actually had to, if he couldn't force his people, he had to actually kind of like pay them off. Because back then, the medieval time, they would just fuck you, you're dead. we're gonna storm the castle and kill everyone. And they would. And so you had to like calm your people down, give them something, be nice to them. A king could be if he was labeled uh, a tyrant. Such were the way of tyrants. The sic parabellum, right? That thing.
Yeah.
Such is the way of tyrants. They would, storm the Bastilia. Now you've heard about King Henry and his exploits. They would build up their military and their police force to terrorize and taxate, overtax people, uh, create that feudalism thing, serfdom. If they would try to take as much land as they could, as much hunting uh, uh, places as they would, and if you wanted a piece of that action, you had to be a part of that kingdom and do what he said, right? So if not, you could actually just live out in the wilderness by yourself and be perfectly fine. You know, like I'm going to build me a cabin in the woods. Fuck all y'all. you know, and a lot of villages did that. A lot of communities actually did that, and you still see those to this day. Where these just autonomous communities would especially in Europe, and of course, or especially in Europe and Britain and things like that, they would just Now you might one day just be on your farm and have three of your sons, and the king comes by and goes, "We need them for a war. Or we need them to build the wall. We might give them back. Here's some money, or we're just going to take them." Like, okay, but you piss off the people too much, and that's it. You're done. That did happen. Yeah. Woodlander. There's an interesting story which because I knew a guy whose last name was Gilly. He said the name Gilly came from the royal guards of the royal hunting land, and they wore ghillie suits, literally ghillie suits in the woods, and people would come onto the royal hunting land to poach, to hunt, to eat. And these guys with ghillie suits would get you, right? Hiding in the woods. You never see them.
The ghillie got him.
Yep, the ghillies would snipe him. Yeah. So there was a lot of things, a lot of things. Castles would take like 10, 15, 20, 30 years to build,
Yeah.
50 years, uh, because either they would run out of money or they would run out of food or run out of whatever, and the people would just leave. Like, screw this.
Yeah.
I'm not building this castle. You're gonna pay me in beer. Fuck you. I'm out of here. Right.
Yeah.
Or winter, harsh winters, famines. They tried to figure out a way to get people to, galvanize. But for the most part, there was a time in medieval times where people just didn't want to be a part of any of that crap,
Yeah.
and so
Guilds were pretty prevalent back then. The Carpenters Guild, it goes clear back to Julius Caesar's time, and they were very smart compared to what we have today, considered carpenters. And
yeah.
like logs, they harvested them in the wintertime between January and March or something, and they only harvested trees that were over 100 years old, because a tree, when it's growing, as it gets older, I can't remember all the terms, but the outside sap is what causes that tree to rot. And that's what the insects come after, your funguses, your molds, all that kind of stuff get into the wood. Well, once it gets over 100 years old, something changes in all that. And I forget what it's called. It's not sap, but it's the inner chemical of a tree. And in the wintertime, what sap is there gets sucked down to the roots. And that's why a lot of them castles and the structures over there, the wood's still preserved. It's lasted hundreds of years because of the whole technique of harvesting. And I found a channel the other day that it's an AI channel, but some really cool information about building castles. And they had not survivalist outposts. They had outpost castles where they'd put it wasn't the king that lived there, but it'd be one of his upper guys, and he'd have a whole company of men. And
Yeah.
I can't remember all the details, but it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I try not to. I don't watch any kind of AI, but there is a project I've been watching. They're trying to build this castle, and they're trying to do it the old, like, talk about, like, what do you call it, a reenactment. They are reenacting building a castle from medieval times in the medieval way.
Yeah.
And I think they got it about halfway built, and they're living and working there. It's like 50 or so people that have dedicated themselves to this project, and they estimate it's going to take about 10 to 15 years. And I've been watching them for about 5 years build this thing. And it's really amazing,
Are they
hard
building
work.
like the old crane type systems for raising the big rocks and all that?
Post and beam. They're you know actually coring the rock the old way, hauling it, the old way. They're doing the shaping the old way, and there's a lot of things that they don't know how they did it, so they're trying to figure out, like, how they did shit, like, post and beam construction, block and tackle, and they're trying to stay historically accurate, but they're like, wait a minute, how did they solve this problem? How
Yeah.
do they solve this problem? And they're like, well, there's no historical documentation of that. We just got to figure this shit out.
Yeah. Yeah, they even had a process for the mortar that went in between the stones so they could still build in the wintertime, so the mortar wouldn't, because concrete or mortar, any of that kind of stuff, it fucks it up once it freezes. And it, I don't usually watch AI stuff either, but the title caught my attention and I clicked on it and I watched a couple of their videos. And it
Yeah,
was pretty interesting information. I'm just sad I can't retain it all.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that. Uh, just ingenuity.
Yeah.
Gilly, chat's going nuts. They're still in the gilly, spamming the chat.
So do you think our world society will ever end up going back to that kind of thing? Or a form of it?
I think there is a percentage of the world that still does. They still live primitively by choice.
Yeah.
You
Kind of like
know,
me.
right? I mean, uh, hell, I'm watching this one now. This lady, there's a lady. She an old lady too, but she looks great. She was born in 1965, and she lives like a cave woman in the Midwest, out in the wilderness. There's no glass, there's no metal. Everything she has is what she made from the land. And I mean, she interesting story. She was a punk rocker back in the punk rock days, and all this and sex, drugs, rock and roll. And she said that she had some kind of something was empty inside of her. She couldn't feel it. And said she went out to the woods with her and a horse. That's it. That's all she had, and she made everything she has. And now what she does is for like there, she takes people, very select few, and for like 6 months, for 3 months, they make everything. And then the other 3 months, they go out and use it and live and survive as a group with nothing. It's like prehistoric, flint knapping with rocks and, making their own bow and arrows and, they're processing deer and hide and elk and bear and whatever, fishing. It's all primitive. Uh, she lives that way. She's only 60, I know. But she's 6, but she don't look it, man. She is like just fit, She eats everything from the land, you
Yeah.
know. She forages, she hunts. And she does this thing. I think I shared it on my community page. I'm watching that right now.
I'll have to go check that out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that come in and the first 3 months, the first month or two, they just can't take it. They're like,
Yeah.
nope, you know. But there's a select group of people, that a mix of people that are just like, yeah, let's go. I'm all in, and it's a interesting way of how they something was said that really caught my eye, caught my ear. He said that there is no there is no room for fakeness. Like all of the masks that we wear
Yeah.
in society, in modern day society, people can see right through that shit in the woods, in the
Yeah.
wilderness. They can see right through that, and
Yeah.
a lot of people can't deal with that because we put on these masks. We This is who I am today. This is who I am today. This is who I am tomorrow. Right. This is who I am in this situation. And real people out there are like, that's we can see right through that. You're a joke. You're lying, and it we accept it if you accept it, but a lot of people can't accept the fact that everybody can see through their bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it comes down to, hey, can you do the work? Can you survive? Can you make stuff? Can you provide for the group? And if you can't, and you've got this mask on that, oh, I can't do it because whatever, then
Yeah.
screw you, you're out.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm watching that now. I mean, I've often thought about just like, you know what? I'm just going to go off to the woods with a knife. That's it. You know, just
Yeah.
screw society. Fuck you.
I'd have to take a rifle too.
Right? I mean, it'd be nice. You know, but yeah, probably. I probably that's how I'd probably do it now. But yeah, I guess getting older, you know, shooting a bow and arrow or spear fighting a bear is kind of like suicide.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's grizzly out there that you shoot them with a big bore rifle and they just laugh at you or they get really mad.
I've seen a couple videos of my recommendations. I hadn't watched them, but where somebody took like a big tree stump and dug it out and built a room down underneath the tree stump.
Oh yeah,
Thought that was a
that's
pretty cool concept. A lot of work.
there's there's that used to happen here in Ohio. We're known for these back in the day during Native American times. These sycamore trees were massive, and sycamore trees hollow out and create this structure that you can actually live in. And there's, I think it's in Cincinnati. There's a story of the old woman that lived in a tree, and she had a two-story house, sycamore tree that she lived in, built a windows and doors, and had a stove, a fireplace, and all that shit in this tree, and she lived on the hill. That story is still told. I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But I would like to go subterranean. That's what I would like to do. I would like to dig in.
Yeah, if I ever sold this place and went somewhere else, I'd try to find something in the mountains with a cave on it.
Yeah, a cave, and I mean old mines. You
Yeah,
know, uh, now granted, a lot of that shit is very dangerous, and there is some challenges to going subterranean. For one, getting rid of carbon dioxide and getting oxygen.
yeah.
That's one. What
Them gases that the earth puts off.
yeah, you could just boom, oh no, I just built my subterranean structure over uranium.
Yeah,
Oops. Yeah. Or radon gas, or is it called radon? Yeah, radon gas.
yeah,
All kinds of shit. And there's also the static pressure of water, that it leaches,
yeah,
there's leaching going on. It goes down, and if your shit ain't like fortified or drained right, it you just turned yourself into a subterranean pool.
yeah. Yeah, it's one of the things in my head that I think about. How if somebody was doing something like that, how they would be able to keep up with keeping the water out.
Yeah, I remember I follow Atlas Shelters, uh,
Yeah,
and his process. It appeared like I always wanted to like dig in, like just like how you dig a mine, how you
yeah,
build a mine, and the old way with the timbers and all that. Timbering a mine, that still works, but it's still very susceptible to a lot of things. Well, what Atlas Shelter does, which seems to be the way to go, is you dig the hole, you
yeah,
dig a big ass hole, and you fill it with gravel. You pour your concrete for your slab. You put your structure elevated off that slab. You fill it all in with gravel and drainage. You got drainage pipes going in different directions depending on how the you gotta have a what's it called, a water leaching study of how water drains in your area through the ground, and then that's how you drain things. You set up these French drains, these drains, and drain it out and that's what the gravel does. Is everything, all the water doesn't stay. It drains down through the gravel. Different types of gravel too, like different grades. And then on top of that, you can pour it all in concrete. Encase the whole thing in concrete, and then pour more gravel on top of that, and then dirt. It's like, wow. Hey, do you know Snow White never farted? What? Snow White was a female pimp. What the fuck? My chat is crazy. Y'all are nuts, bro. Oh, thank you, Ad Chat. Yeah, Atlas Survival. He's been doing it the old fashioned way, like the way the military, United States
Yeah,
military, and the Swedish military did it. That they used it same technology back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. He
yeah,
still uses the Swedish carbon
there,
filter.
yeah.
Filters out all the everything. Nuclear everything.
Yeah, I haven't watched him for a long time, but he's pretty sharp on his shit. If I
Yeah,
was a millionaire, I'd buy one of his units.
I mean, so it's. I thought about it. You could get it. You could get into some kind of structure, some kind of thing for. I think his cheapest is like $1,500, but he goes up to 500.
Yeah,
Yeah, about 50 to 75K. For a very, very big one. But then you got to also pay everything else, like the transport, the digging, the all that stuff, the
the
hookup.
crane.
Yeah, and what are you going to use for power? So I watched the one guy that's what he does too. Is he provides the power. He provides a generator inside your structure, your bunker, and or solar panels up top that will power like battery packs and all the wiring and all that stuff. Man, crazy. What's up, fish sticks? It just everything they it's I used to fantasize about buying an old missile silo,
Yeah,
you know, out west, and you could get it for, cheap. Well, yeah, there's a reason why you can get it for cheap, because when the military left, they not only did they abandon it, but they sabotaged it so that, it couldn't be used. And most of them, were like just,
filled with water.
yeah, filled with just nasty water, and they just dumped everything down in the hole, all the junk and all the debris down there. It's a mess. Uh, but some people have like been able to, uh, you know, fix them up, great at great expense. But just the way that they have to, but it costs a fortune just to keep it running. Just to keep the water out of it is an enormous expense and effort. Yeah, decommissioned permanently. Yeah, yeah. Some are cheaper than buying a house. I agree. Yeah, their culvert design one, I think, is like $10,000, and that's perfect. It's bigger than my apartment actually.
And concrete sweats, so you definitely have a way to keep the moisture and the mold and
Yeah,
all that from getting the best of you.
but the thing that I like about it is that you get down past, I think it's 12 feet. It's a constant 58 degrees. you know so there you are, constant 58 degrees. If it's hot outside, go down there. If it's cold, then you just gotta gradually heat it up. Now everything's got to be different. You can't use gas to heat. You have to use like some kind of electric. Yeah, you got to have your dehumidifiers set up, and have to monitor that situation, or you're going to be inundated with mold and mildew, and that's not good.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the biggest problem is carbon dioxide. You have to have a way of venting that. And having an oxygen supply. I mean, that's done with that filter with the. I think it's a 500-pound carbon filter, Swedish
Yeah.
made filter that he has. That's badass. And then
Yeah.
he's got a blowback ballast. So if there's like some kind of, like a nuclear bomb pressure, boom,
Yeah.
this thing over the overpressure, it equals out. So that the pressure has to be done too, to pressurize it or depressurize it.
Yeah.
There's so many things. Go ahead.
One of his videos that he done 3 or 4 years ago, he went to Sweden and was showing off the different pumps and air stuff, and it is pretty cool.
Yeah, I
He's
seen
pretty
that one.
sharp.
That's a massive complex. That Swedish
Yeah.
complex that he showed off, it was a debunked military bunker, like could house like 500 people or something. Just
Yeah.
massive. Oh my God. Just gotta find a way to drain the water out. Yeah. Well, he has a way that they have these the pipes that go up, like the air intake. They come up and it's this huge galvanized pipe that's curved, and it's got a huge. It's got a grate on it, a screen on it. Uh, and then what he does is that goes down, and then there's like these valves, and they tilt. So or they tilt up. So if you try to pour something in that pipe, it's going to go into the pipe, hit that valve, and drain out. It's like, because I mean that's my plan. Is if I find a bunker, I'm going to fill that thing with Jello. So, I'm gonna get me a 18-wheeler tanker, 50,000 gallons full of Jello, and industrial strength pump that shit right into the bunker and see if I can, always heard there's always room for Jello. I want to test that theory. Uh,
Yeah.
so, but there's way it drains. It just boom. So there's no way to flood them out. There's no way to do that. I guess you could stop up the intake and the exhaust, but it still would the pressure, like you could, if there's something if there's something like in the stopping the intake or stopping the exhaust, you can hit that overpressure and depressurize or overpressurize and blow that system out, whatever they stuff in there, whatever they try to you know sabotage you with. uh
What about people like building a fire or like burning a tire where your intake is?
yeah,
Well,
well, I mean,
you should have a filter to take the
yeah,
pollutants
that's what
out
the
of it.
filter. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what that 500-pound carbon filter does.
Yeah.
It's good for like 80 something years or something. I forget. So that thing is I mean, it'll filter out nuclear radiation.
Yeah.
So burning tire would be no problem.
Yeah.
And once again, you've got your overpressure vent that you can quickly, deep depressurize and flush your structure out,
Yeah.
airwise. Uh, and oddly enough, that's where he makes his bathrooms at, is by by that valve. So if you're in the bunker and everybody's like, oh God, you just pull the valve and out it goes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the thing about Finland. Oh man, Finland. You've heard about Finland, right? I don't know how they have the most intricate and extensive and expensive structures, sub bunkers and structures underground. They can fit everybody in their city. Hundreds of thousands of people can just boom go to ground, go to the bunker and live. You know, because I mean they're right there on the border with Russia,
Yeah.
and Russia doesn't like them. They don't like Russia either. So they're preparing. They're like, okay, fine. We'll just they built massive structures underground, man. I mean, they're people go there just to hang out and live. They're like, yeah,
I
yeah, live.
always heard Russia had kind of the same thing, like underground cities where they could move most of their population underground.
Yeah. Oh, I mean that's the St. Petersburg, their massive subway system. You know, it's built like super structures. You know, massive concrete and brick columns, like just that are made to take all that pressure, you know, from a nuclear bomb and things like that. Civilian bunkers too, yeah. Uh, what's up, PA? 310 miles and rising. Yeah, so I mean, it's yeah going under, but I'd like to see some of the like I might do that. Look at some of Finland's stuff. They seem to they have luxury homes down there. You know, they've got
Yeah.
carports, they've got, you know, tennis courts, pools, you know, what schools, theaters, you know, cafeterias, homes. There's families that they encourage their families to, you know, to go down there and fix up their place, you know, so to speak. Right, Yardbirds. Yeah, what's up, Yardbirds? Czech Republic and other country subways are hundreds of feet down. Yeah, right. Anti-ed jacket. That's they kind of use their subways as their fallout shelters. You know, they could just get rid of the trains, uh, you know, and just fill that whole place up with people and
So,
supplies and be fine.
so our subways and stuff here in America, are they set up with some kind of air filtration system in them, or
They should. Skull, Mad Cat. Yeah, they should. I imagine they are. They have to, you know, just to survive down there. And think about like the bridges, or the tunnels, like that go underwater. You know, the like in New York and all that carbon monoxide that we, you know, people driving through there, you know, going through those tunnels. They got to vent that shit out.
yeah?
Kind of reminds me of that Sylvester Stallone movie. You stuck in the tunnels. "Oh, I'm gonna get you out. Yeah." Right.
I guess I've seen that one.
I forget the name of it. It was a and there's a young Vigo in there, the guy from uh Lord of the Rings. Uh I forget. He's a mountain climber. He's a famous mountain climber that dies. And then, you know, Sylvester Stallone is supposedly like he's part of the New York elite special forces rescue team that he got blackballed and everybody hates him, but he's like the most knowledgeable, right? Yeah, that's it. Is it called Daylight? I think it's called Daylight. And yeah, there's a big bomb. There's a big explosion that happens in the tunnel, and it starts to collapse in certain areas. And there's some survivors, and he goes down there and gets them out. Uh, yeah, was Rocky stuck in the tunnels of Brooklyn? Yeah, yeah, the Brooklyn Tunnel. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah,
I think
interesting movie.
I think that Daylight was free on YouTube at some point in time because I've seen the
I
thumbnail
think
for it.
I think that's where I watched it at was YouTube. I watch a lot of movies on YouTube.
Yeah, that's where I watch a lot of them. There or Pluto or Tubi.
Pluto or Tubi, huh? I miss it.
Yeah, they're free movie apps, and they're legitimate ones. They're not these ones that give you viruses.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Pluto actually has all the running stations, like news stations and sports, and they have a whole selection of old shows like Beverly Hillbillies and Green
Oh,
Acres, Andy Griffith.
oh man.
They have a Walking
Yeah.
Dead channel.
I tried to start a marathon. One of my favorite shows as a kid was The Greatest American Hero. Remember that?
That sounds familiar.
Great, believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could be so free. I know. Anyway, but it was a story. Yeah, totally 70s, right? But this it was a story about this teacher, this very like tell you the truth, they're all like very progressive Californians, and this is based in California. But this teacher, I forget the guy's name. He's an actor that most people know. I forget his name, but he finds the aliens come down and give him a super suit that in a book with instructions. Uh, and he can only read the book when he has the suit on. Well, he loses the book because he's an idiot. But so he doesn't know how to use the suit. So what he does is like he can fly, it's very like he's flying through the air in this red super suit, and he cannot land. He crashes. Boom. Now he's impervious. He's impervious. Like you can shoot him. It doesn't hurt him because he has like super abilities. But he's always like crash landing. He has like he'll find out like some kind of super ability like by accident, and he lost the instruction manual. It's gone somewhere. He don't know where it's at. He lost that shit because he's an idiot. And there's this FBI agent that finds him and finds out about him and uses him to fight crime. And it's kind of slapstick funny because they go after terrorists, they go after drug dealers, they go after all these people, and every episode is different, and what happens is the teacher has to do what the FBI agent says. The FBI agent is always getting messed up, like OJ Simpson in Naked Gun. He's always getting messed up, shot, broken. He's falling out windows. He's always covered in bandages at the end of the show, and the teacher is like, "Well, I feel fine," you know. Yeah, yeah, the greatest American hero. Yeah, that was my favorite show as a kid. It was just stupid, funny, and amazing. And sometimes he finds the suit or he finds the book. Sometimes the aliens help him out and go, we made a mistake giving you this. We thought you were smarter than that. Are you smoking another fag?
I am.
All right, I'm gonna light up another fag too. Yeah.
It's one of them faggot nights.
Yep. Smoke a fag.
I'll get rid of this faggot one fag at a time.
Yep. Smoke a fag. Mm. Yeah. It was just a cool movie. And he had a girlfriend or an ex-wife that he's trying to get back with, and uh oh yeah, Nanu Nanu Shazbot. That was a
Yeah,
great movie.
remember
Was
that
a
one,
great
Mork
show.
and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy, yes. That was
I
one of
think
my
they've got
favorite.
it on Pluto.
Yeah, that's just classic Robin Williams right there, man. Just classic. No fumador de pepino. Nanu Nanu Shotspot. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll check that out. I don't know. I don't really have a. I've been just kind of. I get obsessed with certain things, and like right now, I'm obsessed with 70s Japanese samurai movies. Yeah, just you know, dubbed. They're speaking Japanese, but there's you get your subtitles. Just all kinds of just Japanese ninja movies of Japanese. It's like they're Japanese. It's like they're soap operas, but just the way the Japanese told their stories, totally different. I mean, it's very rich, very full of drama. It's it for there's you think that they came from like a better time or better people. No, they were horrible. They were absolutely horrible to each other, you know. But they developed, a certain society from all this strife and just debauchery and destruction, to each other.
Always found
I
it
like
interesting.
swords.
Always found it interesting that they had enough people on that tiny island to fight World War II.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Millions. I'm thinking the same thing. Like, how did little bitty Germany, almost take over the world? Because they almost did, and
Yeah.
how did Japan almost take over the world? It's like, what? Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with, and I like swords. I've always been a fan of swords and sword play, and yeah, it's dramatic. Yeah, it's a lot of it's kind of fake, but it's their hero. It's the hero with a sword, and he just beats everybody else with a sword.
I love knives. That's kind of my big thing. Knives and
Nice.
axes. I
Yes.
haven't been into the axes as much here the last few years, but
Yeah. Yeah, I like my axes. Yeah. I need to play with my axe. I need to go out in the woods and just fucking swing it around.
I've been
What's
working
up,
on my
Pilgrim?
I've been working on my scrap when I can in weather between weather and stuff. But e-scrap, I got several old computers and DVRs and shit like
Oh,
that. Anything with electronics that's got green boards in it. There's quite a
oh,
bit of. I mean, it's not a shit ton of gold, but you can get like the average computer. You can get uh anywhere from 0.5 to 2 grams of gold out of it. The older computers have more gold in them than the newer ones. The
really?
Chinese ones have less gold. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Trying to decide whether I want to try to refine it out myself or just take the stuff in and sell it. There's buyers that buy e-scrap. Excuse me, e-scrap, and
E-scrap, yeah.
they use chemicals to extract that stuff, which are really expensive.
Yeah, like acids and
Yeah,
kinds of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Use one to extract it, and then you got to add another chemical to make it go back together. And I'd like to set up just a little foundry where I could just melt stuff out where it'll, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to a professional scrapper up here in Cleveland. He'd done some of that, and I asked him about that, and I'm familiar with the process too. I watched some of it. I got excited about it. I was like, okay, but he said it's just not cost effective. You have to spend more to
Yeah.
to extract it than you do getting what you get.
With the
He said,
chemicals.
yeah, with the chemicals and all that, even if you burn, melt it all down, whatever, the impurity, some of it maybe, maybe if you had a foundry and you knew the process of, you know, how it all the slag, because
Yeah.
you got to process the slag because
Yeah.
it's some things are going to burn off, but some things are going to mesh together with the gold and silver and the platinum, and
Yeah.
you're like, well, how do I get this like separated? you know?
Or you have to have a furnace where it melts off at certain temperatures because every metal has its melting point. That's how like automobiles and all that's done. They shred it all up and run it through a conveyor. It goes through a furnace, and your aluminum, your carpets and all that shit. Well, when they shred it, a lot of them are set up in water, and all your plastics and carpets and all that stuff float to the top, and then the
Mhm.
metal stuff gets run through this furnace thing with the conveyor, and everything melts out at a certain temperature.
Yeah, yeah, wow, yeah.
I haven't been
Oh yeah,
involved in scrap a whole lot in the last probably 10 years, but
thank
I'm
you,
working
Jack.
on getting it. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was going to thank Jack. I have it on my saved list. I got like 14 hours of the greatest American hero that I'm trying to work through one of these days. Anyway, yeah, yeah, I thought about it. I thought about it. It's like, I don't have the. Where am I going to set it up at? In the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna buy me a trailer this next payday, and I'm gonna start hauling. Like, I got a lot of aluminum, and I got stuff I can get rid of. I keep a lot of stuff for projects, and
Yeah,
if I want to need to cut something out, or I can make it myself, but I need to make some money.
yeah. I mean, scrap, and I know some people that are following the scrap prices.
Yeah.
A lot of like the scrap market. The price of things, it works like the market. They go up. Region 9, is Cleveland a good place to live? The suburbs are, not Cleveland itself. Akron, it's funny. Cleveland is it's a big city, right? With all the big city problems. But it only takes like 10 to 15 minutes to get out of the city into nothing. It's surrounded by suburbs, which are pretty cool. Some of them are pretty cool. Most of them are pretty cool. And then, like, literally 10 to 15 minutes, you're in the like complete wilderness farmland, woods and shit, rednecks, you know, and that's kind of like where I want to go. But yeah, I've done some gold panning before. That's pretty cool. Uh, Pan for gold. But I mean, it all depends. If you like the whole Cleveland is, it's woke as fuck and it's socialist as fuck. Okay, so I mean, Akron same way. All the big cities are. Don't live in the cities. That's what I learned here. You know, and once you get out, like you'll see nothing but communist shit in Cleveland. But once you get outside of Cleveland into like the townships and stuff, American flags everywhere. You know, absolutely patriotic.
Yeah.
The heartland of America is definitely Ohio. It is, but they still have school parades, on Main Street. They still have Veterans Day and close down the streets. And so
Yeah.
Cleveland, no, I do a lot of work in Cleveland. It's, yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, and I've seen at Jack, I've been to the bar. Yeah, I've been to the bar where Drew Carey had his bar in that movie or in that TV show.
Yeah.
Uh, Now, old Cleveland back in the day used to be badass. It was like Cleveland rocks, Cleveland rocks. They used to have open air, and they still do sometimes. They have open air concerts, free open air concerts. That was the thing. Everybody came here and had an open air concert. And that was party time. In the 60s, 70s, 80s. Definitely the 70s and the 80s was Cleveland's heyday. But now it's woke. It's communist. It's actually one of the slated to be one of the 15-minute cities, Cleveland, and they have this. It's called. You can look it up. It's called the Corridor Initiative, where they're trying to link and isolate all the suburbs and make them all 15-minute city, 15-minute suburbs. But you get into the suburbs, it's suburb living. You're house to house. Everybody's got a house. Everybody's got a fenced in backyard. Everybody's got a garage. Everybody's got a basement, and everybody's living right there, on the street. You still see kids running around playing, riding their bikes, trick or treat. Everybody, all the holidays, everybody's like, decorating their property, Christmas and, Halloween is big, of course. Christmas is real big, in the suburbs. Now, Cleveland itself, no, it's something else. It's like I said, they're trying to go socialist and they're working on it. Really, they're it's going to happen. It's already there. They've defund the police. They've defund yeah, all the socialist programs are going on in Cleveland and Akron. Akron is more like, I don't know. There's I mean, I've been all over these cities here, all the way down. Uh, I haven't here in Northeast Ohio. I haven't gone much farther down. Actually, I have. I've been all the way down to Ashland, Newcomerstown, in those rural areas. Those are very beautiful places and very nice places to live. But finding a job, right? If you had money and had taxes are really high, properties are really high. Um, Lots and lots of regulations, stupid regulations. Rain catchment, you can't catch your rain and use that. They have so many regulations in Cleveland and a lot of the suburbs. It's just stupid. The taxes
So
alone will fucking
what do they
right.
do to you if they catch you catching rainwater?
They fine you. They take you to court. Oh yeah, they also have city tax here. A lot of these suburbs and the cities have city tax. So yeah, if I live in the city and I work, I don't have to pay the tax. But if I live in a suburb and I go to a city, I got to pay the tax. Make that make sense. Yeah. I'm currently paying 3 city taxes. Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
Where's
Glad I
my
live out here in the middle of nowhere.
Akron? My ancestors worked on the railroads. We Irish roughnecks, right? Very cool. Cities have police. Counties like sheriffs. Thug life. Taxes equal slavery. That's right. Yeah. So I keep finding myself going and looking further south from Cleveland. I keep moving more and more south. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I seen
Oh,
a pretty
okay.
good video the other day. The guy built him a cabin out in the woods, and he took trees and just cut up chunks of wood, like 18 inches long or so, and stacked them and made some mortar stuff. And it's pretty cool. And I think I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm not going to use wild timber. Um, the power company up here, they're upgrading everything, and they've always got a big pile of their posts. All these places where their beds are, along a road, they'll have a 4, 5, 6 foot post there. They're not as big around as a power pole, but they're only about that big around. Some of them are square,
Yeah.
and they just take these things and dump them up here. And then they have a big fire about once every couple months and burn it all. And most of it's treated with creosote or some kind of treating. And I think I'm
Yeah.
going to start bringing a bunch of that stuff home and build me a cabin out back somewhere like that.
Oh wow. Wow.
I'm
I,
I'm gonna do more wild out in the wood type videos probably this year.
Hell yeah. Badass. All right. Boom. We have Tactical Muffin Top, the
What's
disembodied voice you hear in the background. What's up, Tactical Muffin Top?
Yo, 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 I can be embodied a little bit.
There you
up,
go.
TMT?
What's up, Mac? You get that link I sent you?
I haven't checked my email, but thank you.
Yep.
I want to make one of them candle lanterns out of scrap.
Oh, yeah.
I've got an idea. That was a pretty good video. It inspired me to do some shit.
Good. I think it'd be pretty easy to replicate.
Yeah, I've got a couple of old mag lights that I picked up in scrap. Like people leave batteries and shit, for years, and then they creosote up and it ruins the thing. And I'm thinking I'm gonna use one of them as my outside housing.
Yeah.
So I want to make it.
I can't wait to see the video.
I want to make it so that replacement candles are readily available, like the ones in that one. That's why I was asking for the link.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's cool.
Yeah, if you could make one to run them Dollar Tree ones, like I got a shitload of that one box that I showed you in the video, that'd be sick, because those are dirt cheap.
Hell yeah.
How you doing, Mad Chad?
Oh man, better than I deserve, brother. How you doing?
I was gonna go to bed, and I was like, fuck it, the weekend's mine. I'm chilling with my homies for a minute.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations, you survived the week. The weekend is now yours. Please hit that thumbs down. Fuck you. That's right.
Yeah, this is the only live stream I'll come out and sit in the car and be on.
I'm offended.
Oh, I don't mean anything personal by it.
Well, maybe you need to be offended.
Yeah, Mad Chad's too cool for school.
Too cool
yeah.
for school. Yeah. Beeswax candles are healthy. Paraffin wax is full of carcinogenics. So bamf.
Do what?
They got beeswax candle ones there too.
They're full of carcinogens?
Apparently.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm tired. Now old Bam Spike, he raised bees and did that for a while. So he is he is a bit of an expertise on that, I'd say.
Thanks for the information. I don't need to breathe in any carcinogens.
I mean, burning anything really is not good for you. You know, breathing that shit. Boom. Thank you very much. Anti-ad Jack dropping the links for Maccabeus. Yeah, folks. Drop your links. If you're blue, you know what to do. If you're not, then you're not. You just beg somebody blue, they'll drop it for you, maybe. Yeah, drop those links.
What you been up to, TMT?
Oh, remodeling this rental. Trying to get it done here in the next couple weeks so we can get the renter moved in. I'm dragging ass on it. Been doing a lot of OT at work, which is fine.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've been kind of thinking, like rethinking my strategy too, you know. As far as like, you know, my dream is to have like acres of land and a small house on it and then just build empire on it.
Yep.
You know? But I also talked to a few folks that do that as well. Like they got rental properties, you know, and I'm like, well, okay, buy a 2-family home, a split home, or you know, a 4 apartment building, and live in it for a while. You know, get that money generated, just start stacking that cheese, and then boom, get out, have the rental property still going, and then buy my chunk of change, my chunk of land, take that chunk of change, buy that land. Now I live off site on my property, right?
And you're making money at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty smart, and that's what the bigwigs do. That's what the elites do.
And then you can borrow against your property for your loan for your next location.
Yep. Just keep going.
That's exactly what the elite do. They never gamble with their money. They gamble with the bank's money.
Yeah. What was it? Elon Musk. He owns absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Absolutely nothing. Like everything he has, but he has places. He has mansions that he goes and like it's like if he's rich in debt, in money that he owes. Like he's worth billions of dollars, and you know they just say, "Hey, can I get a loan on this?" Yeah, sure. Yeah. So he just keeps getting a loan. Yeah.
Why not? Advance yourself without having to put your neck out there.
DARPA stooge handpicked. Yeah, a few Sunny Uber interesting stuff here. Oh shit. Oh my god. Coffee's not working.
Mine's working pretty good.
I'm thinking about going shooting. So what I joined a membership. I finally joined a membership to a range. And I can go anytime I want. Anytime they're open, really. So I'm thinking about going taking a pistol and do some drills, get some training in, work on my fundamentals.
Yep. Do it. Enjoy yourself, Matt Shad. You earned it.
Yep. Snapping in, working on my structure, trigger control. The bad thing is it's a range, indoor range, so I can't do rapid fire. I can't do, your Mozambiques or failure to stop drills. I can't do shit like that. I can't do multiple target engagements. Shit. That's why I won't land. So I can build my own fucking range.
Right. Some of those indoor ranges, they'll do like a once a month, like a PCA or PAA or whatever they call their little pistol tactical portion. They'll set up like doorways and stuff for you to slice pie and shoot. Do they have any opportunity like that?
There's some we're talking about these suburbs. The Parma Armory does that from time to time. They'll set up like a little IDPA kind of, because they do IDPA build up. Like to get into IDPA, you go to that rifle range or that range and build up your standing with the basic training, because that's what IDPA does, like outdoors, right? But and they won't take you unless you're accredited, ranked. You have some kind of ranking, and that's how you can build up your beginner rankings.
Yeah, well, that's also good training too.
Yeah,
you can get into that.
Yeah, and it's funny because you see all these young bucks out there with all this like expensive gear and they're hardcore, like and they suck. They absolutely suck, right? And it's always that old fat guy that's
with
on top.
11.
Yeah, he's got a 1911, right? Kimber 1911, all right, or he's got a revolver, and he's kicking everybody's ass.
Yep.
Time, everything. He's like, he can reload. Like, you don't even see him reload. Boom, boom, boom. He just reloaded. Boom, boom, boom. Like, how the fuck did you do that? And he's an old fat guy.
Baby. Yep.
And you see all these like just super buff, military looking people with all their military gear. Like, I got the best gear. I got the, the super sporty fucking competition holster and gun. And, and this guy's out here with a fucking 1911 his grandpa gave him. No, actually they sink some money into that shit. Everybody knows that the 45 is like the most easily to just customize to hell.
Oh yeah, you get a Gold Cup 1911, you're doing fine.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, some of these Kimbers right out of the box are just like, whoa, nice. Stu.
I ran one of those with a couple dudes on the sheriff's department, and one of them had a high point and said I was a piece of shit. And I said, I'll run you for $20 with that high point that ain't even mine.
Wow.
He's like, what? And I wasn't quite as good as what I wanted to be with a high point, but he was like pretty impressed. And I was like, yeah, man.
I mean, it's I don't care. I've seen the high point. I'm from Tennessee and West Tennessee, and that's like the working man's gun. Yeah. Everybody had a high point because it's readily available, right? Cheap as hell. You work overtime, you get a pistol in your pocket, and that's all you need. A gentleman's pistol. Yeah, it's big and bulky. Yeah, you can't carry it with a round in it in the chamber. Yeah, you can't drop it, but it's a gun, and they still shoot people with it.
Yep,
it does kill.
I wish they'd work on their carbine, because that thing's actually pretty good if they would just put some work into making that about half the weight.
I seen the carbine. That's very sketch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they work. They run. They're ugly as sin, but they do work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fuck. Yeah, the poor man's muzzle loader, you know.
Hmm.
Yep, made in Ohio. That's right. I own a 45 lifetime transferable warranty. Wow, Yardbirds, yeah. Uh, Tennessee says they're going to stop chemtrailing. I heard about that too. Yeah.
I've got an old cap and ball pistol, and I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna get it out and get back into that. It's
Oh wow.
36 caliber.
Oh wow.
Damn, you melt your own lead balls for that?
I will. I haven't
Nice.
yet, but I will. I've got
Oh, that's
several
a cool thing
coffee
too.
cans of lead.
Mm,
That's cool.
definitely boots out the
Got a
door.
couple sections of lead pipe. Got some pieces of lead sheeting, like off of a sewer pipe. Years ago, they used to use lead sheeting on the roofs. You know.
Yeah. Save that for your bunker so they can't see in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I watched a video from the Revolutionary War here a while back on how they made their own gunpowder and using urine and all that. I want to try doing something like that this year
Ooh.
too.
Yeah. You need to take those lead weights off of old tires and rims too.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them battery cable ends. That
Hmm.
there's zinc in a lot of that stuff, but it'll melt out separate. They're two different melt temperatures.
Shit. I'm about to lose. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the other cool thing about this membership to this gun range is they do a lot of like they're starting this like intermediate reloading, uh advanced reloading. They got some cool little groups that they're putting together, and it's like, what? And then
That's
they have
cool.
like, yeah, yeah. So I could kind of go to a seminar and sit around,
yeah.
listen to these guys talk about reloading and shit. Uh,
Yeah, if they get you into where you're pressing some rounds and learning on their stuff, I mean, you're making some ammo.
Yeah.
That'd be
yeah,
cool.
yeah, maybe because that's the thing too, is like having that 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 startup capital to get into reloading. It's expensive, right? So
Very.
maybe I could
Yeah.
just rent their stuff, rent
Yeah.
their equipment,
I've got
provide
an
And if
old
you get-
Lee. I've got an old Lee hand loader. You would load one shell at a time. It's got the little deal, and you knock your primer out, and it's
yeah.
it's it's for 45. Because I carry a 45 and a 357.
Wow.
There you go. Heck yeah, but then you also get the watchful eye of the dude who knows how to reload, so you're not screwing up too. So that's
Yeah.
comfort. You know.
Getting tech support,
Yeah.
hands-on tech support.
Thank you for reloading with me. How can I help you today?
No, your primer is 0.0 millimeter off. Full nincompoop.
Not too much powder.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, right, Spike. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I got some 9 mil I can shoot off. I've been saving it for uh shit. I can't say. Uh damn. I've been saving it for something else. Uh but
Is that
I can afford to get rid of it. Um some of it. Have some fun, work on some shit, right?
Yeah.
All right, Mac. We'll see you in a bit.
Did you do you qualify with that Shadow Systems? Yeah, no, you were talking about it for work. Is that you're working on that or no?
No,
That something you were going to do or no?
no.
Oh, I thought you were going to try and qualify for that for your carry at work.
XAP. I say to you knowingly, no.
Right.
Damn it. I guess I say too much. I can't lie. I just can't fucking lie. It's hard.
Grounded.
It's good to trying to find like stuff you can get into, certifications and things like
Mhm.
that. I don't know. I'd like to try my hand at IDPA. I don't want to spend a lot of money on it,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But I think it would be cool. Um, and fun, right? Competitive, right? You get to get out there and try to be competitive. I'm a competitive person, you know. Of course, Lloyd, who's 500 pounds and he's 62 with his revolver, he's gonna whoop my ass. But hey, at least I can try and talk shit at the same
Yeah.
time.
Maybe he could become a potential MAG member. Maybe Lloyd has 100 acres and he don't need 20 of them.
That's right. Yeah,
Yep.
that's right. I just need a place to shoot. I miss South Carolina, man. Oh my god, that was cool places out there. Really cool places that just one was called the Sawmill. That's a badass place. They do helicopter shoots there. They do Barrett 50 cal shoots. There were some just hunting clubs with like just ranges set up
Yeah.
and $20 a day and you just got the run of the place.
Yeah.
You can get a golf cart if you want, or you can drive your own car, you know. Just and
We've got
do what you want.
we've got
No range officers, right? That's what I don't want somebody behind my back going, you can't do that. You know.
we got two big gun clubs here. One of them's got a mile long range. He bought one farm. He overpaid for the land so he could have several farms in a row, so he could do mile shoots. The Marines have been here training Marine snipers, FBI hostage rescue. He's got barracks set up. He's like I can't remember his name. But he's some big high up that was connected spec ops and all that kind of shit years ago.
Man.
It's pretty cool.
Y'all mind if I smoke a fag?
No.
Burn that faggot up.
In your mouth.
Yep. Mm. Yep. Smoking his fag here.
Spike, I do believe you can't use tampons. It'll put you in septic shock.
I'd imagine.
They have some kind of chemical in there, kind of like if a gal keeps it in too long, it has something in it that it just use proper medical to plug holes.
Oh, they're talking about tampons.
Tampons, yeah. Yes, they have a chemical on them that is not ideal for that. But I suppose if you're going to die in 2 minutes, it's probably better than nothing.
Yeah,
That's good info.
I mean, in the heat of the moment, right? I'm grabbing whatever I can, stuffing it in there.
I'd rather have a roll of gauze. That's what it's designed for. Pack the wound.
Sock. I mean, that's the thing too. Is like if you can get them. What I understand is if you can get them to the EMT or get them to the emergency care. It doesn't matter what you stuff it with. A dirty sock, a wet T-shirt.
T-shirt wonders.
They're gonna irrigate the wound. They're gonna clean it out. They're gonna do everything. They're gonna do more advanced wound care than what you did. I'm just trying to stop the bleeding.
My leather Harley coat on one of the inside pockets, I carry 3 tampons in there. The guys in the union, they made big deal about it, gay and all this kind of stuff, but that's what it was for. They'd never heard of it, such shit.
Yeah. Tell Miss Roman to your bitch and I tear her up.
Gay.
Gay.
Gay. Yeah, I can't. Gay. There you go. As I'm sitting here smoking a fag.
Oh yeah, I've been called FUD and everything else.
Hey, I'm proud of my FUD heritage. I really am.
Yeah.
You know, I am.
I like my old school shit.
Yeah. I'll get stuck in my ways too and say all this new shit's gay. You're best with, just like you said earlier in the stream, man, that old man with that single shot shotgun, man.
Yeah.
He's good with it. He put a lot of food on the table.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got my father's guns, my grandfather's guns, and my uncle. You know, my grandfather gave it to my uncle, and I got it from my uncle when he died. So, I'm carrying on the. My name is Fud.
My great grandpa's 22s put down a lot of varmint and put a lot of rabbits on the table.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa's 22 was a Winchester. I don't remember the model number, but it was the pump with the hex barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it might have been like a 10 round or something. You could hold the trigger back, and just quick as you could pump it, it'd shoot.
Slam ball, classic.
My dad inherited it from grandpa, and then my oldest brother, he stole it when my parents got a divorce. He showed up for the divorce, and then when he left, the gun disappeared. And dad never pursued him about it. And then he ended up getting in a bunch of shit and ended up in prison. So I'm sure the fucking federal, whatever where they store all the guns and shit's got it, or they sold it or something.
So I went home with them in a case one day.
Yeah, that's a big thing in law enforcement. People don't know that, but
yep, they're trophies.
And I think that should be illegal.
Should be.
Essentially, it is.
Yeah, they're supposed to be destroyed, but I'm sure they find their way.
Oh yeah, you heard about that? I heard about this during the COVIDs. The bat fee. The bat fee. Bureau of assholes and titties and yeah. Anyway, the bat fee. That's their actual acronym. They had a destruction plant, and they were processing. They said they were processing like 1,000 something a month or whatever. But when they looked at the garbage can, looked at the waste, they're like, "You're not doing 1,000 a month. There's no way." And you're like, wait a minute. And come to find out, yeah, people were walking away with they went to their homes and there it was, sitting in their fucking safe.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have a problem with them auctioning them off or selling them, as long as the money didn't go back into the agency and it went to like victims compensation or something like that.
Right.
Now, if they do that, it'd go straight into their new squad cars and new armor and new everything for them.
What's up, Cha-Cha?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think, but so what do y'all think? Okay, TMT. So what do y'all think about full auto, given to you by the state? I mean, that's the loophole they're talking about. West Virginia, right?
I had been against it in like the whole FRT and super safety and all that shit for a while, but I think it has a role for suppressive fire. But as a civilian, can you support the full auto? Can you feed it? We don't have the infinite ammo that the military has to feed such platforms. I mean, it's out of our dime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I prefer accuracy. Now, if someone were to gift me one for freezies and say, here's a couple 5, 10, 20 cases of ammo, oh, fuck yeah. But I'm going to burn that ammo up. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I was I had the fortunate experience of being a saw gunner.
Yeah.
I loved my saw. I did, but I didn't have to pay for the ammo. I didn't have to pay for the links. I didn't have to pay for the parts. I didn't have to pay for the barrels, the multiple barrels that I melted. That's the thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. But a full auto in 5.56 or 7.62 by 51, 30, even 39 is wow, game changer. It really is.
For me, it'd have to be like in 22 or 9 so I could maybe actually afford it.
I would go out and I would go out and test it out and have fun with it for a little bit, but then I'd just put it in the safe and know I had it in case the need arises.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, suppressive fire, anything vehicle, you want to, at a
Yeah.
checkpoint or whatever, you're done. It's covered.
Right.
Even you could actually even use it, for somewhat of a type of anti-air. Uh, you know, you might need a larger caliber, maybe a higher rate, but as far as like personnel and anti-personnel, yeah, hell yeah. That's giggle switch time. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, if you take like your AR-15 platform and try to turn it, full auto, or we didn't have full auto ARs or M16s. We had the 3-round burst, and it sucked. I mean, yeah, there's no accuracy.
No,
I'm
it
just
pulls the barrel up and yep.
I mean, it's I'm all over the fucking place. At least with the saw, I could get a sustained group, you know, with a nice burst, 3-round, 5-round, 8-round burst, whatever, and keep that suppression going and stay on target. I could dial it in. I could, and not only with, yeah, you got your bipods, but once you set up like a T&E, a traversing, locked in bipod, those like the M240 Golfs and shit, that's pretty steady. It holds it pretty steady on target. Yeah, and you can still shoot uh semi-automatic with a saw or something like that. You can. Uh I don't know how accurate sustained accuracy, but not as good as like your AR platform or anything, but uh, it could work in a pinch.
In
I
a
mean, go ahead.
like a post-apocalyptic setting, not in reality where we live, but the old school windshield wiper motors had a cam on the end of them, and the wheel on there's like egg shaped. Some of them they're made different, but they all work on like a cam system, and you can set them up in the appropriate area on your piece and have 2 or 3 mounted on your vehicle on switches. If you just see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mad
yeah.
Max
Yeah.
code blasting.
So you can still be driving and just hit the switch if you encounter a road gang in front of you or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, shit. Or take a bus and turn it into a rolling puff the magic dragon.
Yeah.
Hit a
Yep.
switch and all the good go. Boom, 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 boom. Right? I mean, yeah, make a little Gatling gun, 9 mil Gatling gun. Or you've seen the boxes, right? Oh my God, the boxes. And they're all electronic triggers. So you basically the box. This came out decades ago. They make a box and like say 9 mil, and they put a tube that's your barrel, and they load the tube with like 29 mil, and they're each fired in with electronic firing. So and you've got say that one tube has 20, and then you have 200 tubes in the box.
Kind of like
And
artillery shell, but with ammo.
just yeah,
That's cool.
ungodly rate of fire. You talk about area denial.
Yeah. There's a wall of lead, literally. Okay, fuck that.
Yeah. I mean, like the Puff, the Magic Dragon, the C-130 gunships, they can put literally a round at every square inch of
Yeah.
1,000 meter grid square. They can
Yeah.
they can just boom, it's done. Like boom, there it is. They can do it with flechettes or whatever small calibers, and then on top of that, send that 40 Mike and the 155, and, the 20 Mike, you know. But imagine that, just have that kind of or flechettes, or you just put that on your vehicle.
That's why they wear towels on their head. It's not to keep them cool. It's when that motherfucker's flying over, they can wipe the shit that they just had coming out the back of the
Oh yeah, Region 9 and the Apaches. What was that chick? War Bunny or whatever her name was. I remember checking her out, her story out on Sean Ryan. I forget, War Bunny or whatever. She was
Yeah,
a Cobra pilot or Apache pilot in
yeah.
Afghanistan. Just oh my
The
god.
Taliban was scared to death of her being killed by her.
Yeah.
If you're killed by
Yeah.
a woman, you don't get your virgins or some shit. There was something tied to their
That's what we
religion.
need. Army of training women, and then the Middle East won't fuck with us anymore.
Yeah.
They have mud butt too. Yeah, they got mud butt. The Puckle machine gun was created in 1718. What? Years before the Second Amendment. Oh yeah. I mean, the feather, Carlos Hathcock. That's he's kind of accredited with the 50 cal Barrett because he took a Maw Deuce and put
Yep.
a scope on it and shot a guy a mile away on a bicycle.
Damn.
And that was in Vietnam. You
Yep.
in single fired a Maw Deuce with the butterfly trigger.
Legend.
Forever.
Med Dad, I wish that you weren't live for my live, but I know I was intruding because it wasn't my typical. I'd like you to go back and look at that video, and that'd be a really good discussion for your channel. It's what's your actual line in the sand? Is it your dad, your grandpa, your mom, or whoever, your patriarch, your matriarch of the group, whatever it may be? And it's different for people that are single, and there's people that have people and friends and whatever scattered throughout. But if you're all meeting up at a location 2 hours away, whatever, Bubba's farm, what is your line in the sand that you will bug out and never go back to your domicile? You will take everything in 1 or 2 trips, and like, because I'm going to come back, and if I'm out, I'm getting all my screws, nails, 2x4s, plywood. Like, I'm taking all that shit, and I'm digging up my garden. I'm taking my soil with me.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a lot. That's a lot of nutrients in there. But
Yeah.
I mean, what is your line in the sand, and what is it that you're going to leave and never come back, and you're living SHTF 100%? Like, is it martial law? Is it a hurricane? Is it fire? Is it aliens coming down to probe you in your butt cheeks? Like zombies,
D.
Yeah,
Mine would be Yellowstone.
yeah, that's a good one. We're pretty fucked with Yellowstone, pops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The whole world is.
But even where you're at, I think there'll be enough advance warning before the ash cloud got to your area. Probably at least, I think, 8 hours. I used to know all the math on it, but you'd have time to throw a bunch of shit in your shit and get on down the road.
Yeah, I mean that's a big one.
Yeah.
In reflection, all my life, I've just been kind of bugging out. I've never had a really like permanent location.
Mm-hmm.
I've always lived in like apartments or houses I've rented or whatever. It just wasn't my shit, and I had my shit, and I would have a lot of my shit off site, like a storage unit or somebody's house already. So I'm gonna I can always travel light anyway and just bug out at any moment's notice. I think I've got it down to like depending on my level of you know exfil, uh 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. A good hour I can get most of my shit gone, that I'm going to need to be able to set myself up pretty sweet somewhere, you know.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty good.
my line in the sand, I don't know. It would probably because I can navigate shift if it happens, if it comes to me. I can, poof, ninja vanish, right?
Yeah.
Be part of the group if even if I wanted to, and whatever
Big
kind
one
of.
for me was like UN blue helmets on the ground, like within an hour of me, I'm out forever. I'm not coming back to this house.
Right, but you still could. And it all depends.
This
I
is
talk
not a
about this.
defensible location,
I
you
did
know.
actually talk about this in my archives somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't want rounds coming through this house with my family in it.
True, right? Uh, line and an invasion force that's moving
Hmm.
through, the area, getting to the rural areas, hoping that in making that strategic, like, hey, if I move to a rural area, could this invasion force also be moving through this rural area because it's a avenue of
Hmm.
approach to their objective? Like, they don't want to go through a city; they want to go around a city. And so, if I set myself up on, say, a high mountain or in a valley that's near a city, they could be like, getting that area too.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
of course, a high point, they're gonna be like, well, that's a strategic location. I want to put a mortar there. I want to put LPOP there. I want to put observation. I want to put, comms there. And
Hmm.
if my house is there, guess what? It's theirs now.
Yeah.
Sweet location, bro. Get out.
Yeah. So, uh, finding a place that's the whole finding a place that
Well,
is.
hopefully you're circling your wagons with at least one person, so somebody can watch you whilst you sleep, or
Oh yeah.
assist in manual labor chores.
Oh well, that's
Yeah.
that's the plan too. Is we
Right.
am part of a mag. So, and that's we have that set up already, um,
Good.
where we're gonna meet, we're gonna discuss and watch each other and help each other, which we already do anyway. Uh, but it's kind of fluid, right? So
Yeah. It's
we're all
hard because there's
scattered,
really not
and
a correct answer. It's
it's not.
for you.
Situation dictates, really.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm stuck. Maybe everybody comes to me.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody goes to the east, goes to the west, goes to the north, goes to the south. Because you've got your zombie aliens that taste like bacon, that are coming up from the south, and we're up at the north going, hey, let's get our AR-15s and our machetes and barbecue pits ready. You
Yeah.
know,
I'm eating these
uh,
things.
um, and
There's several
maybe so.
scenarios.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Wouldn't too much Yellowstone make me move out of the area, but most things wouldn't cause me to move out of the area. A radiation cloud, something like that, chemical weapons, maybe,
Hmm.
but overall, I'm going to stay in this area. If it's UN, zombies, whatever, I'm the resistance. So I may not be in the building, but I'm going to be in the area.
Yeah.
We're all going back to
That's the thing too, is usually everything that I've ever based on is like civil unrest. You
Hmm.
know, don't want to be a part of that. I've already seen that. It's not a good time.
Yeah.
No one is safe. I don't care how much you got.
Yeah.
And it don't take much for them to take it.
Yeah.
There could be 500 people with machetes, and I've got 1,000 rounds, or 10,000 rounds in my AR-15. Chances are they're going to win.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just they can envelop me and overwhelm me. So getting clear of that, or navigating that. Damn it, Chacha. uh, but yeah, something environmental. There's nothing you can't fight that. Maybe you can. Maybe going, bunkering in. If you've already done that work, but just living in a stick structure. Nah, something like Yellowstone or I have, been in many hurricanes. Uh, Exciting, dangerous, but getting trapped, because of the water, rising around you, and you're isolated and no power. You're just waiting. It's a waiting game,
Yep.
and you're
Natural disaster and EMP were a factor in there. Yardbird, I wanna throw this out. If I'm going to bug out location one, I have 20% of my supplies there and loadouts, right? So just because you're leaving doesn't mean you don't have a destination preset. You should have a destination preset, even if it's a storage with a month's worth of gear in it. You know what I mean? Like
right.
you need to have, if your house catches on fire, you have an electrical fire in your house, and that's all your eggs in one basket. You are SOL if anything else happens until you can reestablish all that crap that's lost, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Getting off site and setting up, you know, resupply points. Friends, right?
Yep.
Hey, you holding this tote for me. Uh,
Can I
you
throw
know,
some food under a bed? Can I have a closet? No.
yep,
Yep.
absolutely. Storage units. I've lived out of storage units for many a years, and that's still doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can always go there. And I like also the concept of, instead of like having a bug out route, having a bug out corridor, where you set up these caches, you have resupply points at water. Maybe you have caches, a friend's house, a storage unit, right? Whatever. uh and you just kind of, you're going in a general direction in this corridor, but you can navigate in this corridor, left,
Mm-hmm.
right, or whatever, deviate. uh you know that was a concept that I come up with years ago. um, that's pretty cool. Um, Gives you lot more advantages to just, hey, I'm going this way as fast as I can with everything I can, you know. Whereas I can just, like, hey, I got to go this way. Like, hey, I'm out of food. I'm gonna go over here, hit this point up, get some more food. Then I'm gonna go this way, get some more ammo. Then I'm gonna go this way, get a vehicle, whatever. Or what, vice versa, you know. Or I can say, hey, meet me at this place, and let's resupply. Or hey, you're in the area, hit this place up. I'm up ahead of you, or something, right? That coordination. Um, yeah, that's a good topic, man. That's a good topic. I don't know. It would take something like civil arrest. It would have to be very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
I think, extremely dramatic, and we're probably, depending on where you are, it's probably not going to happen. We'll hear about it somewhere else. Be like, okay, don't go there, don't go downtown.
Right.
Don't go on 95. Don't go here. Don't go there.
Yeah. It's a question that you see all these big prepper channels like, oh, I got all this gear and blah blah blah, and they never ask the hard questions like that, man.
Yeah, what happens? I mean, I remember, many discussions like that. War Game Wednesdays with prepping outside the box. That
Yeah, I
they
like that.
throw caveats at you, caviars. Hey, you've got this multi-billion-dollar, bunker set up, and you've got 30 people in your mag, and you've got food production, water production. You've got everybody's trained fucking assassins. Well, next thing you know, you've got 10 million warthogs bearing down upon you, or Somalians.
Right. Or you,
What do
you
you
need a
do?
farmer because your livestock's dying, and all you are is you know dudes gun toting thugs. We need the guy who can breed our livestock because we don't want to fucking not have any cheeseburgers.
Your aquifer just got poisoned.
Oh
Now
no, we need a water treatment guy now. Whoopsies, we don't
what?
have that. Well, you're fucked.
Yeah, they just released the nerve agent, or the zombie apocalypse, virus. You can't go outside.
Yeah, your leader likes the aliens that are probing him, so he left.
See,
He has all the keys to the electrical system, so you're fucked.
right? Yeah, your doctor just died of a heart attack. He
Right.
was
Oh, that.
smoking too many fags, and now everybody's got dysentery and malaria. Yeah, I mean, there's like, what was that game back in the day? It was like Oregon Trail. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you're on the trail and you just got measles. Oh shit, that happens, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
think about it. There's no fresh, clean water. And there's no. You're trying to make an oasis out of a cesspool that's around you.
Yeah.
All these systems are going to break down. The sewer system is, oh my God. Can you imagine what happens if the sewer system and water treatment facilities shut down?
Yeah, I did a lot of work with them. we are fucked.
Or you're already in a total collapse, zombies, whatever, and then something like the big hurricane that hit the South down there a couple years ago, or any one of these big natural disasters hits in the middle of a shit hit the fan that's already going on. I don't think most people think about shit like that.
Yeah, if you don't have a well and a septic at your bug out location, you better have a well and a septic, because main water and sewage, your location is literally going to be shit eventually.
Yeah, literally.
It's disgusting, and the amount of tonnage that we go through just to maintain that in good times, it's a lot, you guys. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, by doing area assessments and stuff like that. And in the past, I did pest control for treatment facilities, and I seen the river of shit.
Oh yeah, literally.
Yeah, literally.
Yep.
Dysentery,
And all the chemicals they have to have on hand, and
process,
yep.
the power. Oh God,
Yep.
power. It's crazy. This is
I
turning
got
into John Teeter Street.
I got a notepad, and when I'm out driving around across the upper part of Missouri and places, and I see things that are resources, if it was ever in a situation like that, and I'll write it down on a notepad. So future, if I'm in that area, and I'm not here at the outpost anymore.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I've
Phone
been
books. Phone
I've
books
been
from
noting a
different
lot
areas.
of the flocks of seagulls and their solar panels, and I'm like, nice
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, if you have agriculture, a lot of like farmers out here have little tripods with solar panels on them too, and they have GPSs. And if you kind of know how to take one apart and snip certain wires, solar panel for you.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of construction. Your city and city
Highway
construction sites.
department.
Yep.
Your highway department. They'll bust out the trailer with the big solar panel generator, all that. You're like, oh shit, look at that thing.
Yeah,
Just
look
set
up
it
my
out
foot right there.
there. Here in Cleveland, they got a lot of police monitoring stations that they pull out in a trailer, and this tower comes up with all these surveillance apparatuses on it, and literally ran by solar panels.
Pretty handy. Back
Yeah.
your truck up and take one with you.
Yeah. Allegedly. Wargaming, right?
Yeah, in Minecraft.
In Minecraft. Yeah. Sorry, I got the cough. I've been smoking too many fags.
All those bags in your mouth.
Oh, feel it in my liver. Oh my God. Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna crash. I'm out. It's good. It's good talking to you.
Yes,
Later,
sir.
brother.
Have a good weekend. Let's go. It's a good idea. It's 1:00. Damn. I am kind of tired. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm past due on my shot, so I probably ought to be getting into the house too.
Man. Yeah.
We should start doing some of them scenario live streams.
I like this. I've
Yes.
done I started doing a what was it called, an in-depth focused discussion. I got very formal and gave people time and all that. I
Yeah.
like that. I kind of like that. We covered a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were part of that. We like what would it take to survive? Boom. It appeared that we needed a lot.
Yeah.
Engineers and plumbers and carpentry and husbandry. I mean, all kinds of skills are needed. You know, conflicted the live stream. Tactical Muffin Top. Boom. Thank you, Dad Jack. Thank you, Stu. Yeah, check out Tactical Muffin Top. Uh, for he's got some great content. He's doing good things. Yeah. I don't know. What you think? Uh, Maybe we can talk about a scenario. How about this? How about we put ourselves in a scenario
Oh yeah.
that we see? Imagine that you're in Venezuela during the invasion, or imagine that you're in Ukraine or something, and you owned a little farm there, something like that. That would be pretty cool. Or say you lived on the foothills of Mount Kilimanjaro, and it erupted, or
Yeah.
Mount Everest or something. What do you do? What did they do?
Yeah.
Did they? You know.
Or you're in Mexico on vacation and the cartel suddenly do a nationwide
Boom, boom,
takeover.
boom, boom. Yeah, you can't go nowhere, and I mean, there's burning buses in the middle of the street and gunshots and explosions.
There's a
Right, Southern Fried Pepper. Your
there's a real good movie
scenario.
called No Escape. It's got Owen Wilson in it, and he's in some third world country on an island, and there's one of them hostile takeovers, and all Westerners are being hunted. It's a
Oh,
real good movie.
I seen that. I might click on that, huh? Yeah, and I remember that was my kind of E&E plan that I had set up for myself. Yeah, a lot of us did in when I was in the Marine Corps. And we would just in case we had to get out, because
Yeah.
a lot of places, it was nice, it was a nice place, but the sofa brief was like, yeah, there is this entity that is causing trouble in the area, and if something happens you need to go here. So they already had like a rally point set up for us, so we could get back to the ship.
Yeah.
But if need be, we could get out of the area and go in the different direction. And so what I used to do, and a lot of us did, was just carry $100 bills. Like keep one wadded up, taped to your belt, or stuff so hidden on your body, not in your wallet, because pit pockets happen.
Yeah.
That was a big thing. So have it hidden on you somewhere, and you just walk up to a cabbie and go, "I need to go that way, 30 miles right now." And most of them are gonna be like, "Yes, sir, let's go." you
Yeah.
know, or can I buy your motorcycle? Can I buy your bicycle? Here's $100
Yeah.
bucks. That kind of thing. We had some guy, they were trying to sell us, and some did buy it. Like they had the gold coin, a gold coin or something. It was like a 1 ounce gold coin,
Yeah.
encased in a freaking I don't know, ceramic, polyprene thing, and
Yeah.
that was like their go-to, their just in case kind of fun,
Yeah.
just I got to get out of here now. E&E plan.
That's kind of actually what this here is. I don't have gold, but I have silver.
Yeah.
Oh no, that ain't it.
Yeah, I kept a
Oh,
hundred
I
dollar
put it
bill
inside.
wadded up. You know, I wrapped it in cellophane so it would be uh, waterproof, and then I freaking taped it to my belt, or something, or I'm gonna hit it in my pants, you know, and just or in my shoe, my pocket, whatever. Goes expensive, rather steal the bike. Right. I mean, yeah, I mean that's what the cabbies were everywhere. That was the thing too. You could just walk up to a cabbie and go, "Let's go," and they're like, "Yeah, let's go." They want your money, and they want to get out of there too. No escape. There it is. Thanks, Stu. 95 an ounce again. Silver. 95 an ounce. Really, Pilgrim. Damn.
Yeah, I've got a bag here somewhere. That's I've got. I forget how much is in it right now. On the market value, there's probably about $300 worth of silver in it.
Wow.
That's what it's for, in case I have to just split and make a bribe somewhere or something.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing too, like checkpoints, setting up, boom, they're extorting everybody. Maybe you could pay your way out.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of people got out in Afghanistan. They had to bribe everybody. They had to bribe all the checkpoints to get out of there. Getting jiggy with it. Oh God, I haven't heard that in a while. Yeah. And a lot, and think about it, you're overseas, you can't carry a gun. Hell,
Yeah.
much less carry a knife sometimes. I remember I had this in Italy. This happened in Naples, Italy. I still have it somewhere. Fuck. But it's a it was a ninja weapon. It was basically a chain, probably about 3 foot long, that had weighted ends, like the octagon weighted ends on it, and you, bam, it was.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but I
Yeah,
wore
I've
it.
seen them.
I wore it. I wore it. I wore it like a. It looked like when I put it in my pocket, I wore it on my belt, on my pants, like a wallet chain.
Uh-huh.
That's what it looked like, because I took the one not the one that weighted in. I put it in my front pocket, and I took the other end, put it in my back pocket. And it wasn't connected to anything. So all I had to do, which my hand was right there by it, is just pull this thing out and just swing it. Wham! So
Yeah.
basically it's like a double blackjack. But it was like chrome silver, kind of look. I still got it somewhere. Pow!
Yeah.
You can break skulls, whatever. And not to mention you could, use it for choking, but just a nasty melee weapon. Just it
Yeah.
never, and wouldn't expect it, you know. And the way I'd grab it, it would have both ends coming off, which is problematic. You will hurt yourself. I've done it. It's going to hit and come back and hit you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but if you grab one end of it and start swinging it around, you had a nice standoff, length weapon that could really just do some damage.
Yeah.
It's called a coin purse. Sounds cute, not dangerous. No, it wasn't no, it was an actual weapon. It's called a nakafagachi or something. It's a chain with two weights on the end.
Yeah, they
Like
used to sell them in the back of magazines.
Yeah, I bought it. It's a brutal fucking weapon. It is brutal. It was only like 3 feet long. They make longer versions, like the Chinese meteor thing they call it. And some have a knife on it. I thought about that, putting a knife on the end of it, but just it's a heavy weight, heavy little weight on each end, and a
Yeah.
strong, nice chain. Just boom. I deployed that in Naples, Italy. It worked. It worked. It worked fine, and then put it back like nothing happened. Like I don't,
Yeah.
walked away. Couldn't have a knife. Not fishing in Venezuela. Yeah, don't fish in Venezuela and don't fish in Cuba.
Things are getting pretty shitty in Cuba.
Oh yeah, I mean they've always been shitty. That's the thing. Communism doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, since we've
And
cut off all their oil, it's really
yeah,
getting bad.
I really think that this incident is their their gaslight, their false flag. They create that's what I believe. They created it, you know, and
The
to try
speedboat.
to like, yeah, to say that, oh, it's another Bay of Pigs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
that's what
mean,
they're saying. They're saying that it was some revolutionaries that was sponsored by the CIA. And why would four guys sponsored by the CIA be doing that in the broad daylight?
10. I mean, yeah, they said 10 guys. And funny how they all have Cuban names.
Yeah,
Stolen boat from Florida,
yeah,
which is only 80 miles away, Key West. I've seen Cuba before in Key West.
yeah,
But I mean, there's still smugglers that go back and forth all the time through Cuba.
absolutely.
The people are running drugs and whatever through there always.
Yeah,
I think it.
the coke I used to pick up in the Keys came from Cuba. That was years
Allegedly.
ago. Statute limitations. It's up. So
Ooh, kayaking in the ocean is a different kind of therapy. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I have done some kayaking in the ocean. uh, yeah, I really think that they're trying to hang on and trying to paint some kind of false narrative for their people. I mean, that's the
yeah,
thing. Is especially like they're just like most. They're all like China. They lie. They just
yeah,
it's a lie. Everything's a lie. Everything is a lie. So I believe this is a lie. And it's funny how, the United States are like, you don't it wasn't us. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I mean, why would we
yeah,
do that? Why would any country do that? Like, we're gonna
yeah,
send 10 people in a boat to
yeah.
attack your country.
We
No.
just went into Venezuela and took their president out of there. And why would we do a fucking speedboat?
Yeah, we're gonna like hire 10 guys just off the street, give them some stupid, some cheap ass guns and a stolen boat from Florida, go invade Cuba. Go be revolutionaries. I mean, it's stupid. Who the hell's gonna do that? Great moats matter. Sorry, I don't do orange. Mad bad. You don't lie. Yeah. I mean, yeah, so it's everything is a lie there. I mean, can't believe anything. But I mean, the Bay of Pigs did happen, and that was a fugazi as well. So I don't know. I'm kind of I'm thinking it's Cuba, and they just made the story up. Maybe they shot somebody. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Nope. Oh, dropping.
My charger keeps going out on me.
Yeah, I'm having power issues on my phone, but my tablet is going strong. Uh, and I'm getting good audio, good picture. I can read chat. So I don't know. It's working pretty good here.
I think I got a faulty car plug or the adapter thing, whatever, because it just fucks up in every one of my ports. Brand new.
Yeah, talking about the set on kayaks, the ocean kayaks, those are pretty cool. You can fall off of them. There's also standing kayaks too. You can stand on and kind of just get this big old oar. You just boom, 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 power through the water. I've seen those in the ocean, but I like the basically it's a sit on kayak. You don't sit in it. You sit on it. It's made for the ocean. It's super buoyant, super tough. Uh, the wider, the better. You know, and you are going to get tossed around. I just want to be 11 again. Yeah, I've messed around with South Carolina. Took a John boat out to 3 Mile Island, 5 mile or 3 Mile Reef, 5 Mile Reef. That's crazy. Just a John boat. Yeah. Uh, I had a 2-man kayak. Tried to go out to 3 Mile Reef. I couldn't make it. The waves were just fucking throwing me off. It was hard. It was hard to keep it on a steady course.
Yeah.
The rip currents would just turn you, and if you turn, that wave hits you, you're gone.
Yeah.
You're flipped. And I didn't really care much because I could swim and I could just right the kayak back, but I had fishing gear, I had snacks, and I had stuff in there.
Yeah.
So that's a big problem. Like even if you tie your stuff down into the boat, the ocean will take it. You
Yeah.
know. What's up, Faith?
Yeah, the ocean is treacherous.
And I have actually just swam out there before. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna swim out there. Damn, I did. I smoked too many fags. Can't breathe.
I've considered the boat as far as if I had to bug out of here, a zombie apocalypse type thing. See, I'm boxed in on 3 sides, but with the Missouri and the Mississippi, and getting a boat and just riding the big rivers.
Yeah.
Not a small boat, something bigger, like a 40-footer.
Make sure it's got a low draw, like it doesn't draw a lot of water. You know what I'm saying? Like it's or you have to stick to the deeper channels maybe, but that hinders you. That's why I like the kayaks, because literally an inch of water and you're pushing through. But the more weight you put on it, if you're in the ocean, I love the idea of a pontoon boat or a charter boat. Like one of those charter fishing boats.
Yeah.
2 motors on it, and just boom. I've known a few people that had houseboats, and I thought about that too. They basically took a pontoon boat, turned it into a house. And this one guy, he inspired me, man. He worked with us for a while. He lived on a houseboat, and he had a motorcycle, and that's how he got around. And he would just go from port to port to port to port. Take his little motorcycle and run through town, whatever he had to do, go to work, whatever, and then put it back on the boat and be gone. It's like, damn,
That's kind of a
smart.
growing trend too. I think they call them shanty boats, and they're building little shacks on all kinds of different kinds of boats and living on the water.
Yeah.
I belong to a
I've
couple.
seen some pretty cool ones.
I belong to a couple Facebook groups, and that's all it is. There's a bunch of people on there, but there's regulations too. If you do it now, permits and
Stupid. Yeah,
regulations ruin everything.
They do, and it's how about who cares? Who cares if my house falls apart because I didn't build it right? It's my fault, not theirs. How is my safety and security their problem? It's my problem. I don't know, man.
It's kind of like passive communism.
It is. I mean, it's slowly but surely crept into our way of life. It we're registered, we're monitored, we're governed every step of the way in our life, every decision that we make. No, you can't do that. What do you mean? What do you mean I gotta have this footing, and I gotta have this part of electricity, and this plumbing, and what do you mean I have to hire this guy because he's the only one that's accredited and registered to do this work? right?
Yep.
You know, it's like, who's paying who here?
That's one reason I like where I'm at, because there's no building permits, nothing. You can just do whatever you want. As long as you ain't dumping
Yeah.
raw sewage out on the ground. That becomes a state issue if you're dumping raw sewage on the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But we have no local regulations on anything.
That's cool.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have been able to build my building if I'd had to go jump through a bunch of legal hoops to do it.
It isn't like parts of Texas like that too. Like, hey, good luck.
Probably.
Build what you want.
Probably on the western side for sure.
There, through the answer.
If it wasn't so dry there, that wouldn't be a bad place to go.
What? Where?
Western Texas. Western Texas.
Western Texas.
Yeah.
I would actually like more like northern Texas because it's temperate. It's not baking hot.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of having the Gulf of America there. That's right, Gulf of America. America. We renamed it. I like it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Mexico. It's ours.
Yeah, on water, you
But
got to pretty much, if you're a decent fisher of any kind, trapping fish or fishing with a pole, you got an endless supply of food.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
a lot of the rivers around populated areas are high in toxins. Like down there on the Catawba River, where I'm from, Rock Hill, you can only eat so many ounces of fish a day out of that thing because it's so toxic.
Yeah, that was the thing in South Carolina. We got the Intracoastal Waterway, which is a brackish freshwater kind of thing. Yeah, it does open up. And there's swamps involved in it, but it was so toxic that DNR said that you could only eat one fish per year caught out of the Intracoastal Waterway. I mean, lots of mercury, lots of everything. I caught I caught a fish, a catfish there one time. We cut into it. The whole, all the meat that should be white was green. It was like, what the fuck? But yeah, we had for a long time. There was Santee Cooper. It was a power plant. They literally just dumped their transformers into the water, into the swamp, into the woods. Just dump. I found them. We found them before. You're like, what the? This is bad. This is toxic. We need to get out of here. That was before cell phones and shit. But then there was a paper plant that dumped a lot of chemicals and stuff right into the ocean, right into the waterway.
Yeah.
It was, they did what they
Bow
wanted.
water. Was it called Celanese or bow water?
I don't know. It's all kinds of crap.
There was two big paper plants there on the Catawba that was that way.
Yeah, what was
Down
the name of
Rock Hill.
Santee Cooper and Santee Cooper was the power plant, and right next to it was a paper plant. It's in Georgetown. I forget the name of it, but yeah, the whole place stinks too, and everything's covered in black soot. Teach you about the green fish. Yeah, green fish. Oh yeah, but I mean, I've eaten just about everything out of there. I mean, especially out of the ocean and out of the inlet. Uh, some things I probably shouldn't have ate. But,
Back in the 80s when I lived down there, it wasn't no issue.
oh yeah, I mean, looking at the history, like Murrells Inlet was famous. Famous. They had a saying that this is a quaint little drinking village with a fishing problem. They were they were pulling out they got pictures like the historical pictures in these bars and shit of 500-pound groupers.
Yeah.
A grouper fish is good eating. 500 freaking pounds. These spot tails were like 20 feet long. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Flounders as big as your car. Like, what happened?
Yeah, I partied at Merle's Inlet a few times. I think that's where Suck Bang and Blow was.
Yep. Suck, bang, and
Bar.
blow. That's right. It's still there. It's still there. Still the same. And
I
every
think I
year they still have their rally.
I think I still have a T-shirt from there from back in the late '80s.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
really
somewhere.
cool place. Yeah, it like for the locals on the off season, they do a lot of just like charity potluck stuff. Like you can just walk in there and get you a cup of chili during the winter.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to buy a beer? Okay, get you a beer. And then there right that whole area, right, is
Yeah.
kind of like Hell's Angels area.
Yeah.
And there's a cool little another bar down the street, big bar slash restaurant, mostly a bar. But the Hell's Angels, well, I don't know. Allegedly, they have their little meetings there, and so what they do is they do a $5 all you can eat breakfast, like just buffet style, all you can eat, $5.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, wow. So yeah, it's like on a Sunday, first Sunday or second Sunday of the month or whatever. So there's all kinds of places like that that just cool place. I used to fish down there and by Mickey Splain's house. Mickey Splain was the first gumshoe detective author. He's the one that started that whole genre. And he owned a house right there on a creek, uh, going into the inlet and into the marsh, and that was the biggest conchs I used to find in the mud. And Mr. Splain he had his own little creek, and every now if he liked you, he'd be like, "Yeah, come on up, go ahead and fish this creek." Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I miss it, but I don't miss the heat. That's the thing. It's fucking hot.
I
Good
think
lord.
about going back down there sometimes and just all the people. Last time I was down there was in '09, and just there's way more people down there now than there was in '91 when I left.
Oh yeah, it's crazy now. It's so built up, so wild, and always noisy. Just you cannot escape the noise.
Cops everywhere.
Cops everywhere, ambulances everywhere, people running up and down the roads. The sound of traffic everywhere. Uh, but I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's some good neighborhoods in there, and like all places, it's a weird place because it's linear. It's not like most cities are like, they spread out from the center. No, this is from like straight down the coast and then goes back inland. That's how it builds up. Yeah, Merle's Inlet, Garden City, that's a cool area. Yeah, I did a lot of fishing there. I was running around, lots of pest control. Good lord. Yeah, 20 years of my life there. Shit. Well, I think I'm gonna call it quits here. It's what, 1:30. Uh, I am I'm having problems holding my eyelids open. Uh, and so
Well, you have a good one, brother. I'll see you next Friday, probably.
all right. Hopefully, maybe I'll do something Saturday night. Keep something going on here.
Okay.
I,
Well, if I
I
see
gotta
you on,
keep.
I'll go ahead.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yep.
if I see you on, I'll definitely hop over here.
Hell yeah. Yeah. You take care of yourself, man. You got some research to do. I think, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep. Food grade research.
Food grade research. Look into niacin too. Just regular niacin.
Okay.
Uh, and I know that fasting resets sugars and metabolisms and things of that nature. So look into that as well. But I'm not a expert. So, but thus I have heard things.
Yeah. I've noticed one thing since I've had cancer. I'm hungry all the time. I can eat a full meal and like 3 or 4 hours later just be hungry as hell.
Yeah, they say the cancer eat first. The cancer eats first. You know.
Yeah.
Happy preparedness dreams. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you take care of yourself, brother.
All right.
Have a good night. Say hello to dog for me.
Oh well. He's in there sleeping. He's having a good time.
Oh yeah.
That's his favorite thing to do, sleep.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and
All right.
everybody in chat, good night. Have a
Good night,
night.
everybody.
Yep. So yep, skull. Thanks for hanging out with me here at Lackluster Fridays. I am just about to pass the fuck out. So Cha Cha, Faith, Fish Sticks, Obam Spike, Mad Cat, Wrong Channel, PAMT, Stew or Anti Southern Fried, who we got? Wrong Channel, Pilgrim, Region 9, all you guys and gals out there, Faith, just been hanging out with me, all 17 of you. Hanging out here at Lackluster Fridays. Folks, if you have not hit that thumbs down button, that's right, thumbs down. That's right, Cha Cha. Mud butt, wimping out. That's right. I have to. I have to. I got to get my beauty sleep. Yeah, that's right. It's sleepy time. So yes, thank you all very much for hanging out with me tonight. And maybe I'll do something tomorrow. I plan on going to shooting. I'm probably not going to video that one. So probably just going to go have some fun, do some training, work on this shit. Maybe I do plan on taking a walk because the fish sticks. Yep, take care of yourself. All for his kingdom. Everybody that came through in chat. Everybody knows chat's where it's at. Um, that's right. Please hit that thumbs down button. That's right. Thumbs down. Fuck you. That's what it's all about. Thumbs down. See how it just kind of goes together. Thumbs down. Fuck you. Just fits perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll do some walking, and maybe another creek still flows. The the snow and ice has melted for the most part. So, but I hear, pray tell, we're supposed to get more. Fuck. Uh, Winter just won't go away. Right. Yeah. Well, I better walk in my dinosaur now. Right on. Yep. That's another pup. I would love to meet your puppy. I would. But anyway, yes. Take care, everyone, and thank you all for hanging out with me. And have a good night. Skull.